facilities. And it is a bill whose debate was also concluded at the floor of the Senate chambers, and this afternoon it's coming up for consideration at the division stage. Also, pursuant to provisions of House Standing Order number 52-1, where members of the Senate make statements this afternoon, the Honorable Senator for Nandi, Honorable Samson Cherargei, will be making a statement concerning the centenary celebrations of Kapsabet High School. And in this particular statement, the member will be giving some insights regarding when the school was founded, or when the institution was founded, that is since 1925, and also indicating that the institution holds a rare distinction of producing two presidents of the Republic of Kenya, that is the late Daniel Arap Moi, who served as the second president of the Republic of Kenya from 1978 to 2002, and also the current president of Kenya.
Therefore, we proceed with the business of the day. Settle down, honorable senators.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Senate Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Thursday, 19th March 2026, the Civil Aviation Construction of Visual and Instrument Flight Procedures Regulations, Legal Notice number 26 of 2025. I beg to lay.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health, or any member of that committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Thursday, 19th March 2026, report of the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight and working engagement to Kiambu County on 10th November 2025. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion: that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Health on the County Oversight and Working Engagement at Kiambu County on 10th November 2025, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 19th March 2026. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, statements pursuant to Standing Order 52-1. Senator Fernandi.
Mr. Speaker, sir, statement on centenary celebration of Kapsabet High School. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement on a matter of national importance regarding the centenary celebration of Kapsabet High School, Kapsabet Town, Nandi County, an institution that has for the last 100 years played a pivotal role in shaping Kenya's leadership, promoting academic excellence, and contributing immensely to the development of our nation. Mr. Speaker, sir, founded in 1925 as a government African school, Kapsabet, during colonial period, Kapsabet High School, as was known before Kapsabet Boys, was established to provide a secondary education to African students at a time when opportunities for quality educations were extremely limited. Over the decades, the institution steadily grew in stature and reputation to become one of Kenya's premium national schools, distinguished by its strong tradition of discipline, scholarship, and leadership formation. Mr. Speaker, sir, for a century, this great institution has nurtured generations of young men who have gone on to serve our country and the international community in various capacities. As a proud alumni of Admission 8708 Form 1 West to Form 4 West of Kapsabet High School, I stand before this House with a deep sense of honor and pride to celebrate the centenary of Kapsabet High School, a school that has shaped generations of leaders who continue to serve our nation with distinction. The school has become widely recognized as a cradle of leadership, producing distinguished alumni who have excelled in governance, public service, business, academia, sports, and other fields of national and global significance. Mr. Speaker, sir, notably Kapsabet High School holds the rare distinction of producing 2 presidents of the Republic of Kenya. I don't know of any other school. The late Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, who served as Kenya's 2nd president from 1978 to 2002, as a proud alumnus of this institution and one of its most distinguished benefactors. Equally, and I want Senator Sifuna to listen to this, Excellency William Kipchirchir Samoei Arap Ruto, the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, also passed through the halls of this great school, further underscoring the institution's long-standing, went through the school, standing tradition of nurturing leaders, Mr. Speaker, who shaped the destiny of our school. Mr. Speaker, sir, beyond the presidency, the institution has produced numerous distinguished leaders who serve Kenya with dedication and distinction, including myself. These include eminent statesmen such as the famous total man Nicholas Kipiator Arap Biwott, one of the Kenya's longest-serving cabinet minister and a former member of parliament of Keyo South in Elgeyo Marakwet County. Honorable Henry Kiprono Kosgei, 30 years serving member of parliament of Tindret in Nandi County, and a former minister for industrialization, education, among others. Kipruto Arap Kirwa, former member of parliament for Cherangani and a minister for agriculture, and of course the late Jean Marie Seronei, who was my grandfather, respected parliamentarian and former deputy speaker of the National Assembly, who was widely admired for his courage and commitment to democratic ideals. Mr. Speaker, sir, the school has also produced many leaders who continue to serve our country within parliament and the devolved system of government, including the governor of Nandi, the member of parliament of Chesumei, and former Nandi's member of parliament, Alfred Kiptoo Keter, among other distinguished leaders who continue to make valuable contributions to the governance and development of our country. Mr. Speaker, in addition to political leadership, Kapsabet High School has produced distinguished professionals who serve the country with excellence in public administration and other sectors. Among them is Dr. Richard Belio Kipsang, who has served for the last 13 years with distinction as a principal secretary in various ministries, contributing significantly to strengthening a public service in the Republic of Kenya, as well as Dr. Chris Kipto, the principal secretary of the National Treasury, who has played an important role in the national economic management and public finance administration. Mr. Speaker, sir, the school's influence also extends beyond governance and public administration and to the international arena through sports and other global platforms. Among its distinguished alumni was my classmate, Julius Yego, the Olympic silver medalist and world champion in javelin, whose remarkable achievements have brought honor and pride to Kenya on the global stage. Mr. Speaker, sir, the centenary celebration of Kapsabet boys, which was presided over by the Chief Guest, His Excellency Dr. William Kipchirchir Samoei Ruto, marks not only a significant milestone in the history of the institution, but also an important moment of reflection for our country. It provides an opportunity to celebrate 100 years of excellence in education and leadership while paying tribute to the generations of teachers, administrators, students, and alumni whose dedication and commitment have built this institution in one of the most respectable centers of learning in the Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, this historic milestone also reminds us of transformative power of education in shaping societies and building strong foundations. For the last 100 years, Kapsabet High School has consistently demonstrated that investment in education is ultimately investment in leadership, national unity, integrity, and sustainable development. The school has nurtured young men from diverse backgrounds and equipped them with knowledge, discipline, values necessary to contribute meaningfully to the progress of our country. Mr. Speaker, sir, in conclusion, as the institution embarks on the second century, it is my sincere hope that it will continue to uphold the values of discipline, integrity, academic excellence, and service to the nation that have defined it for the past 100 years. I also urge the alumni, fraternity stakeholders, and well-wishers of this great school to continue supporting its growth and development through mentorship, infrastructure development, and scholarship opportunities so that it may remain a beacon of excellence and leadership for generations to come. In conclusion, I congratulate alumni, students, and entire fraternity of Kapsabet High School, which continues to distinguish itself, Mr. Speaker, from schools who like polling stations. For this remarkable and historic milestone, may this centenary celebration renew the institution's enduring legacy of excellence and inspire to continue nurturing generations of leaders who will serve our nation with integrity, patriotism, and unwavering for many years to come. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator for Baringo County, the Honorable Kiprono Chemitei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity you've given me to make a statement in the House. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant Standing Order number 51 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations on matters county-wide concern regarding proliferation of illicit alcohol in Baringo. Mr. Speaker, on 16th February 2026, the residents of Eldamaravine town in Baringo County took to streets to protest against the widespread sale of consumption of illicit alcohol in the area, which has been attributed to death of at least 10 people since December 2025. The residents raised concern that the government efforts to address the matter have been inadequate. There was urgent need for comprehensive review and the existing regulatory framework and enforcement measures. Mr. Speaker, in my statement, I will seek the committee to address the following. 1, the number of persons arrested for the manufacture, distribution, and sale of illicit alcohol in Eldamaravine town and across Baringo County from January 2025 to date, including details how many of those arrested have been prosecuted, convicted, and sentenced. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, to initiate and attack by the national government and the county government of Baringo to support the rehabilitation, treatment, individual and affected alcohol and substance use disorder. Mr. Speaker, number 3, whether the national authority to the campaign against alcohol and drug abuse, popularly known as NACADA, has any plans conducting community-level awareness campaigns in Baringo County to educate residents on dangers of illicit alcohol and discourage of consumption. Last, Mr. Speaker, the reforms being considered to address existing regulatory and enforcement gaps to control of illicit alcohol, including specific measures to strengthen monitoring mechanism and enhance coordination among relevant national and county agencies. Senator Kiprono Chemitei, Baringo County, dated 6th March 2026. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. I think that has already been taken by the Honorable Chemitei. That was the only statement under Standing Order 53-1. Statement pursuant to Standing Order 57-1, the Senate Majority Leader. Okay, I will allow comments on the statement by Honorable Senator Chemitei for a period of not more than 15 minutes. Senator for Makueni County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to comment on this very important issue. Mr. Speaker, drug abuse has been so dangerous to so many young people in the country, and sometimes arises out of depression, joblessness, and also bad company, Mr. Speaker. And NACADA, who recently appeared before the Committee of National Cohesion, explained that they have several challenges, including funding, and one of the things came out is that they are trying to expand to the regions. But you can see the lack of vigor in the team which visited the Senate, and a lot of discouragement in terms of how it is handled in the country. Now that, Mr. Speaker, it is in the office of the President, but seems not to be enjoying budgetary provisions. Some of the things they are supposed to do are rehabilitation centers, of which quite a number of them are run by individuals like the Honorable Mutudo, who one time was a chair and has a passion of rehabilitating many young people who have gone into drug abuse, Mr. Speaker. In fact, in one time, Mr. Speaker, in a debate in this House, drug abuse have been described like a sickness or something which is very difficult to get rid of in society unless there are proper plans, Mr. Speaker, by the state to make sure that, first of all, there's no cheap, dangerous alcohol available for young people, which is easily abused, especially by those who have not taken a meal, and also ensuring that, Mr. Speaker, there are ways of dealing, even those dealing with the hard drugs in the country. And the framework is not properly embedded in the system we have, Mr. Speaker, and therefore there is a need, and even through this request for statement, to make sure that that department is focused and comes to this House and explains what are they doing for every single county in the nation, so that there can be a rehabilitation center in every single county in the nation. There can be a method of dealing with drug abuse. There can be a way of making sure there is prevention. And Mr. Speaker, one of ways of preventing drug abuse in the country is making sure that young people are gainfully employed, they are out of bad company, and that they copy good role models from the leadership of the country, Mr. Speaker. A lot of parents are unable to deal with this situation. A lot of university students have gone into it. They have delayed in completing their degrees. They have become hopelessness. And Mr. Speaker, some of young people and also older people who are in this habit, Mr. Speaker, have been killed by alcohol, Mr. Speaker, which is very difficult to cure if there are no proper mechanisms. Mr. Speaker, we have rehabilitation centers which even beat up these young people, and they are known and they have been marked in this country where they exist. They go, they beat them up, they are taken through a very rough moment with their parents having paid for that to happen. Mr. Speaker, we must have humane method of dealing with the abuse of alcohol and drunkenness in the country. And I've suggested one of the best ways is to make sure that we lower our taxes so that the companies can come and invest here as they used. We lower the cost of electricity, we lower taxation, we make life possible to live, so that, Mr. Speaker, then many people can gainfully be employed and will be busy working instead of busy idling during the whole day and getting involved in dangerous activities. In a way, they have been misled to be entertainment, yet is a very easy way for one to find themselves dead or having abused alcohol and having failed to utilize their education properly, Mr. Speaker. So this is something the country must.
Now, before we continue with the comments, I will allow Honorable Mungatana to make his request for a statement so that it becomes one of the statements that Honorable Senators will be seeking to comment on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the status of prosecution of corruption and economic crimes arising from the county government of Tana River by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP. Mr. Speaker, corruption, abuse of office, and misappropriation of public resources continue to rise within the county government of Tana River, despite the county's pressing development needs. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the number and status of files relating to Tana River County officials that have been submitted to the ODPP by investigative agencies, including the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, and any other relevant agency. 2, the outcome of the ODPP's review of those files, indicating those approved for prosecution, those referred back for further investigations, those closed, and the reasons for those decisions. 3, the status of prosecutions commenced, including the number of active court cases arising from the said files, the charges preferred, the offices held by the accused persons, and the current stage of progress of each matter before the courts. 4, the measures and recommendations made by the ODPP or other relevant agencies to the county government of Tana River to strengthen accountability, prevent abuse of office, and deter further corruption and economic crimes. Senator Dr. Danson Mungatana, Senator Tana River County. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chimera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I wish to make comments on the statement as sought by Senator Chemitei from Orengo County. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to see the good senator quickly learning the ropes. Now I understand why the good people of Orengo sent him to this honorable house, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me first begin by saying the rise of illicit alcohol and liquor in this country, Mr. Speaker, is becoming a serious problem, especially to the lives of the young men and women of this great nation, Mr. Speaker. Well, Mr. Speaker, this problem has continued to exist because of a huge inefficiencies from our law enforcement agencies, Mr. Speaker, especially those people who serve under Ngawa, Mr. Speaker. It is practically impossible for them not to know that there is proliferation of illicit liquor happening all over the country, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, it is time that we really call to extreme measures and actions against Ngawa officers, because they're the ones who are charged and tasked with the duty of making sure that such liquor does not really find itself and access to the market, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sometimes back when the good honorable former Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, was in office, Mr. Speaker, the only thing perhaps he could do then, and what he knew best perhaps, Mr. Speaker, was he attempted to sanitize this whole issue of, and I repeat the word attempted, Mr. Speaker, because he didn't go as far as making sure this question is strongly combated and addressed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have access of this liquor even to young school-going children, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, there must be a legal framework that this House or the other House, Mr. Speaker, must come up with towards making sure that this issue is nipped in the bud before it grows into a cancer, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it might interest you that I, Senator Chimera from Kwale, I am proposing amendments to the Alcoholic Control and Drinks Act, Mr. Speaker, so that we are able, instead of allowing our young men to participate in the promotion, in the sale, in the manufacture, distribution and supply of illicit liquor, Mr. Speaker, but let them be allowed to have access to what will be affordable traditional brew, Mr. Speaker. Traditional brews, Mr. Speaker, like, and I'm happy the good senator from Kisii is stamping his feet, like Busa, Mr. Speaker, from Western Region, Muratiena, from Senator Nyandaro's area, and our Mnazi, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure you know Mnazi. And Mr. Speaker, I would be shocked if you are seated there today and you're not a beneficiary of this Mnazi thing, Mr. Speaker. I know in your life, Mr. Speaker, you have benefited greatly from Mnazi, Mr. Speaker, either by way of partaking in Mnazi, Mr. Speaker.
Can you keep the chair out of your comments?
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw and apologize. But Mr. Speaker, it is common knowledge that some of us from the coast have actually gone to school through the sale of Mnazi, Mr. Speaker. And I dare say, Mnazi hoye, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I'll be bringing to this floor amendments aimed at making sure that our people in Kenya.
Senator for Nairobi City County.
Thank you, Speaker. I want to make brief comments on the statement by Senator Mungatana, but let me just say congratulations to Kapsabet boys for marking those years, 100 years, Honorable Speaker. Given the reputation of that school, the expectation is that anybody who properly went to Kapsabet boys can properly pronounce the word centenary and alumni. Those words. But, Speaker, we have been told by the senator from Nandi that there are people...
Sifuna,
Speaker, let me just finish.
that statement does not attract comments. That statement, it was made
I'm not speaking on the
under
statement.
52(1).
I am not replying to the statement, Speaker. I'm just saying it has been brought to my attention. But it has been also confirmed that there are some people who passed through and others who went to that school, so you can tell. Those ones who passed through, we can tell. And I would really want an opportunity to go to that school so
Senator
that they
Sifuna,
tell us.
Make your comments on the other statement.
Yeah, so that they tell us if they are proud of some of these names that have been thrown around here, Biwot, Ruto, and these others. They will tell us themselves as an institution. But, Speaker, Senator Mungatana knows that I'm a member of the Public Accounts Committee. Senator, we are working very hard to be able to deliver a report here to this House on the consideration of the reports of the Auditor General for the financial year 2024-2025. One of our biggest frustrations as a committee, and this is something that previous members of the committee will also attest to, is that we have made multiple recommendations. In fact, sometimes we get so frustrated, Chair, that we call, we harass, you know, we have an EACC liaison officer that sits with us in that committee. it is very frustrating, Honorable Speaker, that you can find clear evidence of malpractice, even some that are admitted by the county entities themselves. But the progress of investigation and prosecution has been so slow that sometimes we just appear like people who are there to lament. I will tell you, Senator Mungatana, that when we ask our EACC liaison officer who sits in our committee whether she has a tool that enables her to track the recommendations that we've made as a committee and also to be able to report back and say this is the status of investigations, these are the findings of the investigators, these are the recommendations of the ODPP, she doesn't have that capacity. And it is something that we've continued to challenge the EACC, that for as long as we as a House have no mechanism of knowing or following up on some of our recommendations, it becomes very difficult for accountability to happen. And then lastly, Honourable Speaker, we also have seen a situation, Honourable Mungatana, that out of some of the conversations we have in the committee, you will see the EACC, without conducting proper investigations, they will just run to arrest a governor. And there's so much, it is done with so much drama. And the expectation in the public and even for us as senators in the committee is that they actually have evidence. We saw this with the governor for Trans Nzoia, the Honorable George Natembeya. He was arrested with so much drama, Honorable Speaker, only for the court to drop those charges just recently. So we want to continue to push that the ODPP and the DCI must do proper investigations and bring some of these things to a close. I thank
Senator Joyce. Corinne.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me also to congratulate Honorable Cherargei for the statement that he has brought on about Kapsabet, one of the schools that is really performing so well and producing.
Senator Joyce.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker.
On that statement.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to comment on the statement that was brought forward by the Honorable Senator from Baringo on the issues of illicit brew. Honorable Speaker, this is one of the challenges that we are having, which is affecting most of our youth. And I also want to say, Honorable Speaker, that I must commend the government, the President and the CS for the steps that they have taken in terms of making sure that they have a crackdown on these issues of illicit brew. Honorable Speaker, when you try to see what is happening across the country, you find that most of our youth have been having a lot of health issues because of these drugs, Honorable Speaker. We have the issues of health, we have the issues of the diseases, we have the issues of mental health. To an extent nowadays, Honorable Speaker, despite the fact that we've been having, as a committee on cohesion, matters on employment of the youth in this country, Honorable Speaker, a number of them are facing mental challenges because of these drugs, Honorable Speaker. So it is high time that we rise to the occasion and make sure that we streamline these issues that are affecting our youth to an extent that they are really addicted to even an extent that they cannot be able to work, despite the fact that this is the age that we need to really assist this country in terms of development and in terms of service delivery, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we've also seen a number of them dying because of these drugs, because of a lot of frustration. Others are talking about issues pertaining unemployment. Others, Honorable Speaker, are challenged in terms of even the working environment. And we've really seen this becoming a big challenge in this country. And if the House or if the relevant ministry can raise the occasion and make sure that they streamline and even be able to apprehend, especially the producers of these drugs, Honorable Speaker, we will be able to have a better generation. Otherwise, I support Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Beatrice Ogola.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the statement by the Senator of Baringo on illicit alcohol in Baringo County and not limited to Baringo County, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as I rise with a broken heart as a parent because I know what happens to our young ones and how pained parents are when they see their young ones affected by the illicit alcohol. Honorable Speaker, as a country, we should stop looking at the issue of alcohol as a social issue. It should not only be limited to the social effects, but we must go a step ahead, Honorable Speaker, and look at the use or the overuse of illicit alcohol as a health issue, Honorable Speaker. Just as we treated epidemics like HIV, Honorable Speaker, which initially the public saw as a health issue, but later we learned as a country that that was a large social issue. And so a lot of measures were put in place as a country to address the issue of the epidemic of HIV. The same way, Honorable Speaker, this country, we must treat the issue of alcohol and especially the use of alcohol with our youth so that we put concerted efforts, Honorable Speaker. And when I talk about concerted effort, Honorable Speaker, I want us as a country to mobilize resources, put efforts together, even the NGOs that we have in the country, the CBOs, all the partners that come to this country must begin to address the issue of illicit alcohol and its consequences on our populations, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we must also address the issue of employment. Probably a number of our youths having gone to school, Honorable Speaker, and finding themselves with nothing to do, resort to alcohol. But we want to tell our youths and everybody that long time ago, traditionally, alcohol is something that we partake after hard work as you relax later in the evening or early in the night. It is not something that our population can focus their time of their productive time during the day taking alcohol. Because, Honorable Speaker, even that alcohol that you go and take, you cannot get it for free. You have to work during the day, and after work, you can make a choice to take just a little bit that is not harmful to your health. So, Honorable Speaker, I want also to emphasize the role of the church, that the church must also take their place in the society in the fight against alcohol and its consequences on our communities. Honorable Speaker, I support this, and I want everybody in this country to take off their time so that we attend to our youths and we attend to the population, and let us look at this as a health issue and not necessarily a social issue. Honorable Speaker, I...
Senator Kinyua.
Bwana Spika, asante kwa kunipa fursa hii. Nataka kumpongeza Senator wa Baringo Kiprono Chemitei kwa kuleta taarifa hii. Bwana Spika, pombe hii haramu imekuwa ni janga kubwa na tishio kwa afya ya umma, Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, pale Eldamaravine tarehe 16 kulikuwa na maandamano makubwa kwa sababu kutokea Disemba mpaka sasa zaidi ya watu 10 wamekufa, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo hili janga ni janga ambalo linasumbua sana wa Kenya. Lakini Bwana Spika, inapaswa ikumbuke vizuri ya kwamba aliyekuwa naibu wa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua alikuwa amepigana na hizi pombe haramu na vile vile haya madawa ya kulevya. Bwana Spika, nakumbuka sisi watu wa kutoka Bonde la Ufa tulikusanyika tukiwemo Joyce na wale wengine pale Nakuru tukilivalia hili swala juga, kwa sababu pombe hii haramu isipopiganwa nayo, Bwana Spika, itaharibu sio tu nchi lakini maisha wa Kenya. Lakini Bwana Spika, ni mpaka tujiulize sababu ya hii pombe haramu kuwa inaendelea kuongezeka ni nini? Jambo la kwanza, Bwana Spika, ni umaskini na ukosefu wa ajira. Kwa hivyo wakati watu kukosa ajira wanajitosa katika haya mambo ya kutengeneza hizi pombe haramu kwa sababu wanapata wateja kwa urahisi, Bwana Spika. Jambo lingine ambalo linaleta hii pombe haramu kuenea, Bwana Spika, ni bei yake ni nafuu ukilinganisha na pombe ambayo zimekubalika. Kwa hivyo, kwa sababu ya watu ukosefu wa pesa, wanaendelea kubugia hizi pombe, Bwana Spika. Vile vile, Bwana Spika, ufisadi na ulegevu wa asasi za usalama ambazo zimepewa hayo majukumu. Bwana Spika, unapata wale ambao wanatengeneza hizi pombe wanatoa hongo, wanatoa mlungula kwa hawa maafisa wa usalama na wanawakinga. Kwa hivyo wanaendelea kutengeneza hizi pombe na wananchi wa Kenya wanaendelea kuumia. Bwana Spika, ukweli usemwe, kwa sababu wanasema mgala muwe na haki umpe. Vile vile utamaduni wetu, nilisikia wakati Chimera alipokuwa akiongea watu wakimpigia makofi. Lakini vile vile hizi pombe, busaa na zile zingine ambazo zimesemwa, basi unapata watu wanatupitia hiyo njia wakileta hizi pombe ambazo ni haramu. Kwa hivyo, Bwana Spika, ninaunga mkono taarifa iliyoletwa.
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to first, Mr. Speaker, acknowledge, and I'm very happy that at least finally this House has biometric registration. Sometimes because of old age, we've been misplacing our cards. So I feel much safer and more secure. Number two, I am proud to see the student in Form 1, Honorable Chirargei. Sometimes he is really bright and brilliant, but sometimes he represents behaviors which I see a lot of my Kisii people have. I've never wondered why he behaves like a Mkisi and he went to Kapsabet. When you are a Mkisi, you go to Kisii High School or Cardinal Tunga, or St. Mary's Yala for that matter. Mr. Speaker, the issue of alcohol and drug abuse, we treat it more like a criminal issue. Mr. Speaker, this issue is basically a mental, socioeconomic health issue, which I believe, mishandled. And I wanted to correct my brother Kinyua. My brother Kinyua, the reason why alcohol has been used and abused is because we, the people who sit in this house, are the ones who have been the ones who sell something that comes from Uganda, that comes from Tanzania, that comes from South Africa, and that is ethanol. If you want to be rich very quickly, sell ethanol. And we have refused to stop the individuals who are getting this ethanol because they take the ethanol without using standards, and they produce some of these things that are killing our people. Mr. Speaker, if you look at Tanzanians, they have a drink which is called konyagi, brewed in Tanzania. If you go to Uganda, there's a drink which is called waraji, brewed in Uganda. But in Kenya, we have never standardized our local brew. So we allow our people to drink changa. We allow our people to drink whatever that can be available because the market we have allows our young people to drink whatever we can. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, what Honorable Chimera said was actually very good. There is nothing wrong with this House or any institution that is responsible to go out there and demarcate areas where our poor people who are not able to afford a beer can go and buy a drink for 20 bob or 30 bob. The only thing we need to standardize and make sure it is packaged well. And I want to thank Honorable Kiproto Cheme, the Senator for Baringo, where many of my aunties come from, that the issue you've raised is wonderful. Keep up fighting for your people, and I wish you well in your endeavor to become a very excellent senator. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Charonke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I want to comment on what my colleague, the distinguished senator of Baringo, Senator Kiprono Chemitei, I think is learning very fast, and we are proud of what he's doing. at the inceptive steps, Mr. Speaker. And also, Mr. Speaker, to discourage people who went to schools that has used our polling stations to know some of us are proud of Kapsabet boys. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of alcohol and illicit brew, I'm happy that the ministry has given chiefs of what we call National Government Administration Police Unit. We need to use this ngapu for enforcement of fight of illicit brew in our counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the problem is also we have is enforcement. Most of the police, or especially administration police, collect what we call protection fee, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, it is important the Mututo law should be applied. You have seen even some clubs, Mr. Speaker. And clubs are being, I can see the chair of education is looking at me excitedly, Mr. Speaker, is some of the clubs are located next to schools. Yet it is against the Mututo laws. The issue is not lack of laws. The issue is enforcement of laws, Mr. Speaker. And finally is to appeal that we need to give tax exemptions to Kenya Breweries Limited so that they can make cheaper alcohol, which is safe, Mr. Speaker, so that access is very easy. Because we know the holiday starts tomorrow, Mr. Speaker. There are young people in this city and across many cities in the world, in Kenya, that do what we call aluta. Aluta, Mr. Speaker, means that you disappear 3 days like Jesus Christ and you come back to your house after enjoying yourself over 3 days, Mr. Speaker. So I want, and also to agree with my in-law, Mr. Speaker, the issue of Nazi, Busa, and Konyagi and the rest, is that we should be allowed, especially for ceremonies. You know, Mr. Speaker, and Buratina, it is used for blessings. It is used for libation, Mr. Speaker. It is used for blessings, ceremonies, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fernandez, there's a point of order, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 105. Is it in order for the distinguished Senator of Nandi to mislead the House and the nation that Kapsabet Boys is not used as a polling station, yet is in this House, courtesy of the votes that are being cast in polling stations, Honorable Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, as my late grandfather and former Deputy Speaker of this House, Jean Maria Serone, said, you know, when people rise up to question some of the things, you don't need to answer them, Mr. Speaker. So I leave it there to rest and allow the distinguished Senator of Baringo to come for notes later. Mr. Speaker, so that I distinguish between a polling station and a high school and a national school. Mr. Speaker, finally, on the issue of corruption, and I was saying alcohol, Mr. Speaker, is used for blessings. It's used to, when especially ceremonies like circumcision, among others, Mr. Speaker, we should, especially December, the Ministry of Interior should give us leave for almost a month so that we ensure our children who are going to initiation celebrate very well, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of corruption, especially I support. I think my time is fast spent, but it was taken by Senator Mandago.
Senator Enoch Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to first make a comment on the statement issued by the Senator of Tana River, Senator Mugatana, my neighbor. Mr. Speaker, the issue of corruption in county governments has really become an issue of serious concern, not just to this House, but to every Kenyan, everywhere. And I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, that this statement has come from Senator Mugatana at such a time as this. Because last night, Mr. Speaker, as I watched news, I got very disturbed. And one of the disturbing issues that I saw there was the rate at which county governments are absorbing development funds. Tana River is absorbing only 3% of its development funds, Mr. Speaker. Which means then even if they have budgeted billions of shillings in development, a lot of that money stays unutilized. And yet when you go there, you'll find hospitals that have stalled, projects that have stalled. You'll find there, Mr. Speaker, ECD centers that have stalled. You will find dams that are halfway done, markets that are not done. Mr. Speaker, there is need for a broader and deeper conversation about the performance of county governments, especially the absorption of development funds. Mr. Speaker, the whole essence of devolution, if I understand it well, and I know I do, is that it was supposed to make sure that people determine their own development agenda, and that when county governments then plan for that development, then there is proper execution, so that it is not just people seated in boardrooms in Nairobi deciding on what needs to be done in Marsabit, or in Laikipia, or in Bomet, but the people of those specific areas determine their own development agenda, and they participate in making budgets to finance their own development. Mr. Speaker, as I said, there is need for a deeper and wider conversation around that issue of corruption and the rate of absorption.
Honorable Senators, we have fully utilized the 15 minutes that I had allocated for comments. We will therefore proceed to the next order. Clerk.
Order number 8, the Culture Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2024, second reading, division.
That order is deferred. Next.
Order number 9, the Public Audit Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 4 of 2024, second reading, division.
That order is deferred.
Order number 10, the Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 12 of 2025, second reading, division.
That order is deferred.
Order number 11, motion, report of the Third Commonwealth Parliamentary with Disabilities Africa Region Conference held in Lusaka, Zambia, 24th to 28th February 2025. Resumption of debate interrupted Wednesday, 18th March 2026, morning sitting.
The interruption of debate, Senator Joyce Korir had the floor, and you have a balance of 13 minutes. You may take them or you may rest.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Yeah, I remember, Honorable Speaker, that I was contributing on this report on the Commonwealth parliamentarians on the issues of people living with disability. And I want to say, Honorable Speaker, despite the effort that has been taken by the government, the Kenyan government, in terms of making sure that they incorporate the people living with disability or pupils living with disability within the primary schools, and they have also gone to an extent of doing or providing the ramps in a number of buildings. We still have a lot of shortages, Honorable Speaker. And by so saying, Honorable Speaker, we have a number of people living with disabilities within our villages who are still languishing in poverty, Honorable Speaker. I want to say, Honorable Speaker, that it would be prudent for the ministry, or the relevant ministry, to come out with a formula of how they can have these people, or the data of these people living with disability. Despite the fact that we have the cash transfers that are meant for these people, Honorable Speaker, you find they are given peanuts, that is 2,000 shillings per household, Honorable Speaker, And the challenges are so much, Honorable Speaker. They can't use it even to pay fees. They can't use it even for basic needs, Honorable Speaker. So I think it is a high time, Honorable Speaker, that we need to relook at the whole issue of capturing the data across the country so that at least we can be able to ascertain the number of disabilities per county, Honorable Speaker. And not only that, we also need to ascertain the number of ongoing, school-going students. We also need to ascertain the number of families that are having extreme issues of poverty, Honorable Speaker. I'm saying this, Honorable Speaker, because even as we speak now, I'm trying to put up a house to one of the families in Bomet where they have 3 children living with disability, and the family is living in a total or a very deplorable state, Honorable Speaker. So I want to say that we cannot be able to do it as individuals, but if the government can take an initiative, just like other countries where these people living with disabilities are being taken care by the government, and we need to set up an independent body that is supposed to be just looking at these people, Honorable Speaker, so that their issues can be addressed amicably, Honorable Speaker. It's not enough. We have the representation within the county assemblies, we have the representation within the National Assembly, but still their issues are not addressed, Honorable Speaker. Despite the fact that the government have come up with a number of programs, the issues of the cash transfers, sometimes you find the women reps also trying their best in terms of making sure that there's a system in terms of starting their businesses, Honorable Speaker. I want to say it's still a challenge in this country. We still have a lot of them who are not captured, Honorable Speaker. There is even the issue of registration, where they have to go far to be able to be registered, Honorable Speaker, which, of course, I would want to believe, Honorable Speaker, if we can have a way as a government where they can move to the villages to make sure that they do the registration at the grassroots level, Honorable Speaker, we will be able to sort out these menaces once and once for all. And we will be able to assist these people, and I can say away from politics, Honorable Speaker, because sometimes, for example, when we are going for campaigns, most of the time you find things that are happening are just being done because of political mileage, Honorable Speaker, which I believe this should not be happening, especially for these people living with disability, Honorable Speaker. When you finish, when you make a visit to their families, you really find, you really see the way they are going through a very rough time, Honorable Speaker. Even the parents of these children, Honorable Speaker, cannot do anything. A number of them are not employed. So they need to leave their children, their kids inside the house to go look for their daily bread. And it becomes difficult. Some of them even doesn't have assistive devices that they can assist even these children to even be able to move around, Honorable Speaker. So it becomes a challenge, which I want to say that we need to relook at this, Honorable Speaker. I know there is a bill that was passed by Honorable Asige, but I want to believe, Honorable Speaker, that there are a number of amendments that we need to come up with, because I still believe that this issue is not adequately addressed, Honorable Speaker. So I am of the idea that we have to relook at this, and I want to say that I must commend the parliamentarians for really touching on this issue, but I still want to believe that we have a long way to go. We need to sort this issue once and once for all. We need to have an independent body that is dealing with people with disability. We need to have the correct data. We need to have all of them who are supposed to be assisted or who are vulnerable. They must be in the list of those who are being assisted by the government. And I also want to urge the government that, or through the relevant committee, that we need to look at the ways of increasing these 2,000 shillings that are being given, or the stipends that are being given on monthly basis, Honorable Speaker, because it's a challenge. You find also another, I was seeing yesterday during the registration in some of the counties, and you find an elderly who is at the age of 60, who has not been able to register as a citizen, Honorable Speaker. And you find, if those people are not registered just because of I can talk of the fastness of the county and the vulnerability and understaffing in some of these ministries, Honorable Speaker, what of these people living with disabilities who cannot go anywhere, Honorable Speaker? So it's high time that we need to move to the grassroots and make sure that we have all these details at hand, so that as we are planning, as we are budgeting, we be able to budget and make sure that all these families are assisted, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, I support. Thank you.
Senator Sigei.
Mr. Speaker, my request earlier on was to comment on the previous statements, which you since passed on that. And second request, of course, was to move my motion. So I do not know whether the opportunity granted to me is to contribute to...
To contribute to the motion.
Well, I'll pass so that I move my motion.
Senator Wamatinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this one of the most important topics that we as Africans, because of the very traditions that we have, are shy from speaking about. Mr. Speaker, when you talk about disability, we visualize physical disability. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is indeed very important, and I want to concur with my colleague that this is a topic that we need to go in depth. Disability, Mr. Speaker, sir, does not stop at physical limitations. It does go a long way, even in mental limitations. It is a matter that we are all alive of, Mr. Speaker, that some students in school, Mr. Speaker, do suffer from dyslexia, dyscalculia, and many other disorders that puts them at a very, very high disadvantage when they've been put in the same class with an average student. These are some of the issues, Mr. Speaker, that we must, as a country, we must build the capacity for the teachers in school, for the community, and indeed for the larger society to be able to take notice that there are kids who suffer from these disorders and therefore do need a lot of attention. Mr. Speaker, in developed countries, we know that kids who are gifted differently sit for different exams. This is one of the few countries in this part of the world that generalize the exam for everybody and expect that everybody is going to perform well without taking note of the limitations that the students have. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is imperative that we as a society, we as parents, we as teachers, that we start now taking into account this disability that affects pupils right from early age. Mr. Speaker, it may not be understood by a common person how disheartening, how demotivating, how demoralizing it can be for an average student who's been put into the same classroom with someone who's suffering from dyslexia, and they're supposed to perform the same way. Mr. Speaker, and this should inform even the curriculum that we use to train our teachers. This should inform the curriculum that we use even to teach our kids in school, because we cannot equate two pupils learning who do not have the same capacity in terms of their mental capacity to be able to undertake the same exam. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, as we explore this subject of disability, it must be defined further. It must be broken down into smaller units. We must go down, Mr. Speaker, to not only those sitting on wheelchairs, not to those who are blind alone, but, Mr. Speaker, we must go deep down further to those who also have limitations, mental limitations, by the nature of the, some limitations that they have, so that we are able also to design a curriculum for them that will take care of them and also carry them along. Mr. Speaker, as I was listening somewhere in a meeting that I attended yesterday, and I had an opportunity of interacting with children who suffer from different forms of disability, I was surprised how gifted they are if their talents are nurtured right from the right age, Mr. Speaker. A child who can barely speak, a stammerer, Mr. Speaker, when they get a mic and they start to sing, Mr. Speaker, you would barely believe that they have any challenge. But that is only possible if that's recognized right from the word go, nurtured, and most important, Mr. Speaker, encouraged to take that flow. Mr. Speaker, same as those students who are gifted in arts. Some of them, Mr. Speaker, very, very, very good, very, very, very talented, but once they're pushed into the normal curriculum, Mr. Speaker, they lose the touch and their talent gets wasted along the line. They end up getting wasted, and therefore, Mr. Speaker, we as a House, we must be in the front line in ensuring that we capture all the categories of disability, but most importantly, the allocation, as has been said by my colleague, the allocation that's given to them, Mr. Speaker, it is barely enough to see them through. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, it is also imperative that we conduct a lot of civic education. We know that Africans, most of us, because of the very way that we've been brought up, we are mostly ashamed of saying that we have children or we have families that are able differently, and that is why, Mr. Speaker, we must go back to where we were and conduct civic education and saying that being differently able does not mean disability. That being disabled, Mr. Speaker, does not mean that you are not able-bodied, because we've seen heavily talented children, heavily talented people. I do remember in our time Steve Wonder, who was one of the greatest musicians who's ever lived in his time, that he was a bright person, but that never limited him from becoming one of the greatest singers of all times. Mr. Speaker, therefore I do believe that it is important for this House, it is important for we as a country to acknowledge and to take note that there are people, yes, rather than those who are just physically and visibly disabled, there are others who have mental challenges. Some of these conditions, Mr. Speaker, you are not able to detect them from the onset. And therefore, it is important that we train our teachers so that they're able to detect these cases as early enough, right from early childhood, and therefore these can be mainstreamed to ensure that their talent does not get eroded, their confidence does not get eroded, and most importantly, that they walk the journey depending on the challenges they have to ensure that the talent that they have does not go to waste. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Senator Mandaka.
I was on the statement, Speaker.
Senator Essi Okenyuri. Clerk, do you have quorum so that I proceed to put the question now that we have nobody wishing to comment further? Senator Mbugua, the mover. Is the mover present, clerk? All right, I'll then proceed to put the question. Which is that the Senate notes the report of the Third Commonwealth Parliamentarians with Disabilities, CPWD, Africa Region Conference, held in Lusaka, Zambia, from 24th to the 28th of February 2025, and laid on the table of the Senate on the 7th of August 2025. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 12, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on a petition to the Senate by Honorable Isaiah Maina, a member of the County Assembly of Nandi, representing Olesos Ward, on the proposed amendments to the County Governments Act, Cap 265.
Chairperson Jailak.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move the motion that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on a petition to the Senate by Honorable Isaiah Maina, a member of the County Assembly of Nandi County, representing all Lesos Ward, on proposed, Mr. Speaker, we're still learning on how to use these gadgets, on the proposed amendments to the County Governments Act, Cap 265, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, the 11th of March 2026. Mr. Speaker, this report, the report to this petition is in the gadgets, and I would like to request members to have a look at it, because we received the report, the petition, Mr. Speaker, on the 23rd of September 2025, And once it was commissioned before the jailer committee, the committee, of course, undertook what it normally does, that is to conduct stakeholder engagement. Mr. Maina, or rather Honorable Maina, is a member of County Assembly of Nandi County, where my good friend from Kapsabet Boys, Senator Cherargei, comes from and represents. And this particular member of County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, is seeking in his petition several proposed amendments to the County Governments Act. To be precise, Mr. Speaker, he's seeking to amend 8 clauses, or rather 8 sections in the County Government Act, that is Section 31, Section 32, Section 33, 35, 45, 46, and 58. Mr. Speaker, the objects of his petition, once, of course, it was tabled before this committee, is, Mr. Speaker, to seek to align the functions of the county government in terms of enhancing efficiency of devolution and the principles that have been enshrined in the Constitution, particularly Article 10, 174, 175 on matters devolution and protection of county governments. Mr. Speaker, a while back, we had the statement by my learned senior, Dr. Mungatana, on an inquiry of the status of cases, particularly regarding his county government of Tana River, from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. What Honorable Maina, Mr. Speaker, is seeking to do in his petition is more or less what the statement by Senator Mungatana was seeking. Once we enhance and facilitate the importance of devolution and the protection of devolution by the oversight role of this House, the law governing the administration of functions at the county level is Cap 265, that is the County Governments Act. This is the one that Honorable Maina is seeking in his petition to amend. However, Mr. Speaker, upon engaging several stakeholders, among them the Office of the Attorney General, Council of Governors, Kenya Law Reform Commission, the Law Society of Kenya, among others, various memoranda was availed before the committee. And they largely spoke to an already substantial provision of almost all the aspects that he sought to amend in the County Governments Act. And their position generally, Mr. Speaker, was that we already have enough laws. We have laws having been enacted all the way from the supreme law of the land, that's the Constitution, as well as the County Governments Act. And therefore, what is missing is the governance in how we implement or enforce the provisions of law. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the committee, in its recommendation, which I'll shortly get into, rejected substantively all the proposals, but proposed only one, which in its wisdom sought to implement the provisions of the law that are being sought to be amended by Mr. or rather Honorable Maina. And Mr. Speaker, among them, to be very specific, for example, the first proposal that he wanted to make is the amendment to Section 2 of the County Governments Act. In his own desire, Honorable Maina sought to say that we need to define in law what absence of the governor or deputy governor in office means, and for what period of time does it requires a replacement. But, Mr. Speaker, you know, in the law as it is, Article 182 defines temporary absence of a governor or a deputy governor from office, and subsequently it also explains what actions are available to a county assembly or to the governor in circumstances where that particular office holder is absent in office. And that is actually the basis upon which the committee and the other stakeholders said this then is not warranted because we have over-legislated particularly on that aspect. And number two, the Constitution provides for instances and action that needs to be done in the event of absence of such an office holder. And therefore, amending the existing law in itself will be going against the provisions of the Constitution, and therefore the committee rejected that proposal. The second proposal on the amendment to Section 30, subsection 2D, spoke about the appointment of the county executive committee members. In this case, Honorable Maina is saying that before a governor appoints an individual, he must advertise. He must seek from specific competent institutions certain individuals so that the law, according to him, would require a uniform appointment or organizational structure and process of appointing these people, subject to now the county assembly approving. Mr. Speaker, we all are aware that county executive committee members are normally political appointees, and therefore legislating on this particular aspect will take away the autonomy of a county governor who has been elected by a majority of the public from that county, so that he is controlled on how he will do it. Secondly, he is desiring to say all county governments have uniform structure. That is obviously not possible because the county government of Nairobi, for example, has got wards more than 80, whereas the county I represent of Bomet has got only 25 wards. If therefore we were going to say we will amend the law to have a uniform structure, it means that I have got 11 county executive committee members in Bomet. Nairobi county government, which is bigger and larger, would be required by law then to have the same number of CCs. That is not possible, it is not practicable. And the committee, as well as the stakeholders that appeared before the committee, rejected that proposal again because we have got different county governments with divergent interests, divergent views in terms of the, I would say, departments that they would create. For instance, the county government of Nairobi would have a department, for example, of disaster management or even regeneration of Nairobi River, whereas a county in northeastern that do not have a river around does not necessarily require such kind of a department. That proposal, Mr. Speaker, equally was rejected. It was seeking to sort of have a prescriptive way of creating departments within county governments, and therefore it could not convince the committee that that was required. Mr. Speaker, the third one, which is, I'm picking a bit of those which are very critical, Section 58A, Honorable Maina is making a proposal that we create a timeline within which, where there is an existence of a vacancy in the office of the chairperson or the secretary to the County Public Service Board, that timeline is limited so that we don't have a longer and reasonably long period of time where County Public Service Board cannot sit, either to employ, to discipline, or to undertake the role of that particular office because of absence of a chairperson or absence of a secretary. In most cases, Mr. Speaker, what happens is that when a county governor, a rogue one for that matter, like the governor of Bomet, who is very rogue, if and when he does not want to run the county government appropriately, in the event of absence of an office, like in this case, we just had the County Public Service Board the other day being reconstituted. We have had almost 6 months without one. Then that law, as it is right now, has actually given the governor the leeway to decide when can he purpose to fill that position. This proposal by Honorable Maina requires that it should not be vacant for a period of more than 3 months. Actually, the proposal says that in the event of a vacancy arising in the office of the chairperson of the County Public Service Board or that of secretary, a period of 14 days should not lapse before a replacement or a process of replacement begins. That way, Mr. Speaker, it protects the operations of the County Public Service Board, protects the employees who are employed by that County Public Service Board, and ensures that rogue governors are not given the leeway to decide that there is no County Public Service Board, and therefore there cannot be anything that can be done within that period. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the proposal seeks to give quorum in law, that as long as there is not less than 3 members of the board is quorate for purposes of transacting the business of that particular board. That way also it cushions the County Public Service Board from conducting its business as long as they have the number that the law provides. And Mr. Speaker, that is the proposal that the committee agreed with Honorable Minor, and therefore sought to recommend that for purposes of making sure that we cushion the County Public Service Board and have it able to operationalize its mandate, then we should have in law quorum as well as a timeline within which, in the existence of a vacancy, we have the governor required within a period of 14 days to advertise and thereafter recruit members to the County Public Service Board. There is another proposal that the committee, Honorable Speaker, made that requires the Council of Governors as well as the Public Service Board to create a policy or to establish a policy framework on the procedures which are generally required for purposes of making a report to this House. Remember, Mr. Speaker, under Article 96, this House is mandated by the Constitution to protect our county governments and devolution. Where there is no policy framework on how county public service boards as well as the Senate can undertake oversight of such institutions, we fail to do that the Constitution requires of us to protect the county governments, and the committee is making that proposal that we have the Council of Governors as well as the Public Service Board create a policy framework to ensure that such reports arising from the County Public Service Board can get to this House so that we have an opportunity to also interact with it and, where necessary, make additional oversight recommendations. But all in all, Mr. Speaker, Section 58A, which is a proposal to be introduced, is what the committee agreed with Honorable Minor and will make that proposal to amend the law. Mr. Speaker, as I end, I want to thank the members of the committee. I can see some in the House who participated in engaging the stakeholders in understanding the petition, in understanding why they rejected the proposals which Honorable Minor sought to make, as well as making also far-reaching recommendations as regards the administration and management of County Public Service Board. Mr. Speaker, I thank you. I beg to move and ask my neighbor, Senator Mungatana, to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, may I start by congratulating the Honorable Sigei, who is the chair of the Legal Committee, for bringing this report before the House. I beg to second, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Sigei is one of the most hard-working chairs. And it is true that through his effort, we have seen the Legal Justice Committee has been able to meet early in the morning. This is unlike all other committees. So I really want to thank him and his team for the good work they have done in this report. The other person I want to recognize, Mr. Speaker, is the Honorable Isaiah Maina. This is the MCA, or member of the County Assembly of Nandi or Lesos Ward. Mr. Speaker, this honorable member is a good example and should be a good example to all other members of County Assembly listening to me across the country today. The Honorable Isaiah Maina, whom we are mentioning in this House, should be honored because what he has seen, he has looked at the County Government Act and he has said there are things, if we change this law, would benefit all the county governments in the Republic of Kenya. And he has taken time to make various proposals through this petition to the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the Senate. This gentleman, Mr. Speaker, is a good example of what cooperation can be between county assemblies
and the Senate, how we can be working together to make sure the laws that we are using are fit for purpose. He has brought several proposals through this petition to the Justice Committee of the Senate, and 2 of these proposals have passed. Mr. Speaker, the first proposal, he says, we've got to have a law that is uniform for all governors, deputy governors, county executive committee members who are serving in terms of leave and absence from office. Mr. Speaker, you know, there is no uniformity in terms of these policies across the counties, the 47 counties. In fact, Mr. Speaker, there are several county governments that do not have any policies on leave. So, Mr. Speaker, you have a county governor who goes on leave without saying. You don't see him in the county, you don't see him doing any executive work, but he is not in the county. He is not known where he is. Mr. Speaker, they just disappear. There's no leave policy. The deputy governor who is there, who is consistently in the county, he's not given any responsibility. There's no letter that is there that shows, okay, I'm the county governor of Tana River, I have traveled to Nairobi, now all matters for the next 1 week must be handled by the deputy governor. He is the acting governor for the period I am away, so that business in the county continues. There's no such policy. And I know it's not just my county, it is the counties across the 47 counties. Governors, they don't bother. They travel abroad, they go and they spend 1 month, they spend 3 weeks outside the county. And I'm telling you, the deputy governors are there. There's no policy. Who is supposed to take executive decisions? Mr. Speaker, our governor, the Honorable Governor Dado, this man went to Belém in Brazil for 3 weeks. And Mr. Speaker, the requirement is that you must show the public benefit for your travel and file a report. Mr. Speaker, that report has never been filed. He stays here shortly in the county for a short while. Now, Mr. Speaker, they have made a plan. In fact, there's a letter by a gentleman called Maurice Osono, the Chief of Staff, requesting a rural county in called Woodlands in Alberta to invite them so that they can come to learn governance in that county, a rural county in Alberta, Canada. And they will stay there for many days. Mr. Speaker, if you just calculate just for 7 days, it will cost the county government of Tana River at least 4 million to keep a governor there. And Mr. Speaker, this is contrary to the requirements of travel, public travel for governors. They must show the public benefit for that travel. This is a governor who has been a member of parliament. He has been an assistant minister. He has served in the army as a major. He is a second-term governor. Why would you want to take money from the county to go and stay in Alberta in a rural county called Woodlands to try and learn about governance? Surely. And carry a delegation of 5 people. Shame, Mr. Speaker. I have made a formal complaint to the Canadian High Commissioner. I have said they should not be given any clearance to travel. I have told the ministry here, I have made a complaint to the minister in charge so that, Mr. Speaker, we can have real-time oversight on these things. There's no policy of travel. People just absent themselves. They feel like a holiday. They take off. And Mr. Speaker, we must have this policy. These offices, they don't belong to you, governors. You are just public servants. This thing, I don't know why people forget it. You are just a public servant. The office belongs to the people of the county. You are just public servant for a period of 5 years. Mr. Speaker, these people have grown horns. They think they are some demigods or something. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, just because Tana River is hot, you leave your car running, Mr. Speaker, so that the air condition is running. You give a speech so that when you come back to your car, it's cool and nice. What is that, Mr. Speaker? If you give that person, you remove him from office today, that person would never leave their car running. You know these governors, Mr. Speaker, it's not just my county governor. You employ two little people to carry your whatever, these things, podiums. That's an employment for a person. And your chair. I mean, who do you think you are? During the campaigns, you are standing even under trees and talking to the people. What is the difference between talking to the people when you don't have a podium or when you employ someone to carry these things? These stupid habits, wasteful habits must stop. And I'm saying this because, Mr. Speaker, this is one of the rogue governors who has refused to come to the Senate Public Accounts Committee. Yes. And, Mr. Speaker, you know, in the account time period ending June 2025, this man was given, for the county executive, was given an adverse opinion by the Auditor General of the Republic of Kenya. So, Mr. Speaker, we need to have clear policies. Governors must write down these policies. The counties across the nation, these offices are not personal. You can be sick. So the decisions, who makes the decisions? The deputy governors must be given that opportunity to act as governors. If you are a CEC, you are not well, you have traveled, you've gone abroad, there must be a policy that will allow another CEC to act for you during that period. It's not your personal office. Why do people hold these offices like they belong to them, Mr. Speaker? Why do people change so much? Why? Or is it the title, His Excellency? Is it the title, Honorable? You are servants of the people. I don't know why people change. They suddenly think they are so big, so important. And yet these are offices that belong to the public. Mr. Speaker, I really agree with this MCA, the Honorable Isaiah Maina, when he says we need to codify, make laws that require proper policy in terms of leave of absence, in terms of when a governor, when a deputy governor, when a CEC leaves the office for whatever reason, so that our county governments can run without a hitch. Decisions can be made without a problem. Let us not personalize these offices. Mr. Speaker, let us not personalize these offices. The other recommendation that was given through the legal committee, the Justice and Legal Committee of the Senate, accepting what the Honorable Maina had said through the petition he filed, he says there must be a uniform law determining how quorum is found within all the county public service boards. Mr. Speaker, county public service boards in the 47 counties have become a source of grief for the people of Kenya. You know these people, and I speak with a lot of pain from the people of Kenya. A lot of applications are done to them. And the people, they don't, you see advertisements, people are called for interviews, and then the whole thing goes quiet. You don't know if you are successful, if you are not. Then all of a sudden, some people are given letters, others are left. Our young people are left hanging. They don't know what has happened to them. Mr. Speaker, county public service boards have become a law unto themselves. They don't respond to inquiries. They don't operate transparently. Even when they employ, they don't have a clear, transparent manner in which they return the results of those employment applications. County Public Service Board, Mr. Speaker, have become a source of many audit queries. And I'm speaking for the Public Service Board in Tana River. Mr. Speaker, there have been a lot of queries in terms of high legal costs. People sue the County Public Service Board, and the kind of fees the County Public Service Board is paying, they are unreasonable. Unreasonable. Cases that are very simple and should be resolved just by discussions, they prefer to put a lawyer, because one hand gives, the other hand collects. Mr. Speaker, we must bring order. So I really agree with the Honorable Mr. Isaiah Maina, the member of Olesus Ward from Nandi County, in this proposal that has been approved by the Senate Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage the committee to quickly move. The time is not with us. Let us make a difference to how our counties operate. Let that law come, Section 58A of the County Governments Act, the proposed amendments. Let us debate it very quickly. It will come here as a committee amendment, so we will move it very quickly on the order paper. And I know that this Senate will support it very quickly so that we can start making our counties function properly. I also want to just repeat, as I see it, Mr. Speaker, that county members of MCAs, members of county assemblies across the counties, please don't sit there. Let us keep on cooperation. If you see the law is not working, come and talk to us, like the way the Honorable Isaiah Maina did, and we will be able to listen to you. We will be able to improve the workings of our county governments. For the time that we will serve in this Senate, we will assist you. And Mr. Speaker, I wish Mr. Isaiah Maina was here, because this is the kind of public servant that deserves all the support. And I know if Senator Gerard Gay goes to be a governor, he will support the Honorable Maina to be the Nandi senator, so that he can come here and help us to make the laws. These are the kind of people we should help to develop our legal system and make our places where we work better. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to second this report. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on a petition to the Senate by Honorable Isaiah Maina, a member of the County Assembly of Nandi County, representing Olesus Ward, on proposed amendments to the County Governments Act, Cap 265, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 11th March, 2026. Before I open the floor for debate, let me make this communication. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's gallery this afternoon of Mr. Obino Nyambane, HSC, who is in the Senate, on a courtesy call to Senator S.A. Okenyuri, MP. Honorable Senators, Mr. Obino Nyambane, HSC, is a multifaceted individual with a passion for education, culture, and arts, and a known thespian who has graced the stage numerous times with the captivating performances to his audiences. His love of arts led him to take on leadership role as a director of culture in the county government of Kisii. He worked tirelessly to promote and preserve the rich cultural heritage of his community. He is also an dedicated teacher with a strong commitment in shaping young minds, and his impact extends beyond the classroom. As an Abagusi cultural ambassador, Mr. Obino has championed his community's traditions, customs, and values. He has showcased the unique aspects of the Abagusi culture, promoting cross-cultural understanding and appreciation. These outstanding contributions have not gone unnoticed. During the 2023 Masuja Day celebrations, he was honored with the End of State Commendation, HSC, by His Excellency the President for outstanding service and exceptional contributions to education, culture, and arts. Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to him, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I wish him a fruitful visit. Thank you. Senator Okenyuri, you can take, because this is a bit comprehensive, maybe 2 to 3 minutes to welcome the visitor, Mr. Obino Nyambane, End of State Commendation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to take this moment to also welcome Mr. Obino Nyambane, a man well known to me for quite some time now, and congratulate him for what he's been doing quite over time, even before he was recognized. Mr. Speaker, it's interesting to note that just recently, courtesy of Mr. Obino, I got to identify that the clan which I come from, Omosweta in Kisii, is actually named after, it's said from the information I gathered from Mr. Obino that Osweta actually, when Osweta was born, he was actually very hairy, and they equated that to a Columbus monkey. And later, when the monkeys were attacking fields of other persons in Kisii, his maize field was never attacked. So courtesy of that, our clan accommodated a monkey as a friendly guardian in the community. Mr. Speaker, this, I feel, is the reason why we need to notice and acknowledge such kind of persons in our community, not just Abagusi, all other communities that make we people proud Kenyans. It reminds us of where we come from, so that you can proudly walk knowing your roots very well, Mr. Speaker. And I know for the students who are visiting the Senate this afternoon, I also would wish to encourage the teachers to also take a moment and mention about culture, so that we bring up a society which takes pride in their culture. And this goes beyond this kind of recognition, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want to commend the Senate for always pushing an agenda that promotes culture, and we have senators who have been on the front line for promoting their culture. Just to mention Senator Boni Alwale, we have the Nandi warrior, Senator Cherargei, who have always spoken passionately about their cultures. And with that, I felt it fit to have Mr. Obino be recognized by the Senate this afternoon. And thank you, Mr. Speaker, for fulfilling that request. Thank you.
Thank you. I have another communication for visiting teachers and students from Kiajogu Secondary School and Kieni Comprehensive School in Nyeri County. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon, visiting teachers and students from Kiajogu Secondary School and Kieni Comprehensive School in Nyeri County. The delegation comprises 12 teachers and 90 students who are visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. Honorable Senators, on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful learning. Thank you. The Senator for Nyeri, I understand he is also talking to the other group, because this is a lunching group of students. No, I want to give Senator Mandago the opportunity to welcome the students from Nyeri County.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of my colleague, Commissioner Senator Wamatinga, the Honorable Senator for Nyeri, let me take this opportunity to welcome the pupils and the teachers from Nyeri County and wish them a very beautiful learning exposition as they visit the Senate and understand how legislation is done, Honorable Speaker, and the functions of the Senate in supporting devolution. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, early childhood education is devolved and is part of the very foundation of education in this country, and is a function of the county that we as a Senate, including the distinguished Senator of Nyeri, oversights that function, Honorable Speaker, including the vocational training centers. We therefore want to wish these learners all the best, and hopefully in the near future, Honorable Speaker, some of those seated today in the gallery will be in this house debating and also making progressive laws that are going to take this country forward. I wish them well, and also extend a warm welcome to them to Uasin Gishu County in the future. Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
Very well. Now we go back to our normal business. I want to now open the floor for debate on the motion from the Njaila Committee. Senator Chelagei Samson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I want to also join you in welcoming the great students from Kianjogu Senior School, is it in Nyeri County, and to wish them well. I'm happy they have just walked in when the debate of a report of a jailer committee is being debated on, and I hope one day, one time, you know, Nyeri is a distinguished county. It has produced the third and most innovative presidents that revolutionized economy of our times, His Excellency Mwai Emilio Kibaki. So we hope you will emulate the standard is already set. And it's also a beautiful county where the Mau Mau are pricing. Although we have a fake Mau Mau in the house, who looks like one, but we know of the original ones that were in Nyeri. And of course, they joined Koitalel and the rest to fight for liberation of this country. So feel most welcome, and I hope you learn as much as you can. Mr. Speaker, as the Nandi County Senator, or the Senator of the Republic of Kenya from Nandi County, I want to congratulate the Committee of Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, led by the distinguished Senator of Bomet, Senator Hilary Sigei, Wakili, for this, considering this petition by Honorable Isaiah Maina, who is the current Olesos Ward MCA, on this issue of various legislative proposals. And I'm happy with the quick intervention, Mr. Speaker, on how they have considered. Honorable Maina is having his first term as Olesos MCA and also a member of County Assembly of Nandi. And I'm happy that we need this conversation. We need, you know, the county assemblies and the Senate play concurrent. The others are primary. We are the secondary oversight. We do oversight. So I want to thank him for finding it wise to bring such proposals to the Senate. And I think I remember the former MCO of Nandi Sword called Gideon Koech. He had also brought a proposal and adoption during the last session, Mr. Speaker, on the issues of tea. So this House is ready to welcome any innovative idea, so long as our main aim, Mr. Speaker, is to make devolution work. You know Meru, where I also come from, my second home, the MCAs also have been very good friend of mine. I want to encourage them. This is the role MCAs we want to play. Mr. Speaker, we understand MCAs face a lot of challenges. You and me know that. And I'm happy you are the mover of the motion in giving them financial autonomy. We want that when they get that financial autonomy, and the President has assented, they get their independent vote from control of budget through the National Treasury, they should be able to do oversight without fear or favor to anybody, Mr. Speaker. Now, the problem we have with some of the MCAs are appendages of the executive of county governments, where even they explain more programs than the governor. You walk into the function, you think some MCAs are CECs because they speak so much about county government executive as opposed as to doing their work of oversight. I know the challenges MCAs face, like the issue of salaries, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank His Excellency the President because I saw him, Mr. Speaker, at County Assemblies Forum, where he assured that the SRC and the Prime Cabinet Office will be able to sit down and address the challenges of salaries, the challenges of allowances. The issue, Mr. Speaker, is to build the ability and capacity for the MCAs to do their job. Mr. Speaker, you and me know, whenever problems happen in our villages, the first house all Kenyans go is the member of County Assembly. And I know Senator Metu is well versed because he served in the County Assembly in Nyandarua at some level, at some point as the, I think the public PA, personal assistant to one of the speakers, Mr. Speaker, who wanted to be a representative of us, but he didn't succeed. Mr. Speaker, so therefore, we are building the capacity. Mr. Speaker, you know MCAs should also be given mileage allowances. They should be given sitting allowances. They should be given office management, Mr. Speaker, allocation of office, so that they get researchers. They are able to do a good job the way they have Aisa Maina has done. They can petition, Mr. Speaker. So I want to assure the MCAs of this country. I saw my friend Wamaria from Naivasha. He used to be a good friend of mine. He used to be one of the biggest supporters of UDA. But I saw Senator Metu has convinced him to preach another gospel, which is very, Mr. Speaker, and coincidentally, Metu is a very sharp person. I didn't realize until today. When they were receiving the former nominated Senator Omanga, which we served in the last session, and was our prolific campaigner in UDA, the only person who was sharp not to wear the DCP cap is Senator Metu, because he's still in UDA. And I want to call the UDA, Mr. Speaker, I want to call the UDA party to punish the member for Embakasi Central, the member of Naivasha, for promoting another political party, contrary to the law. I want to challenge the UDCA disciplinary, Mr. Speaker.
There is a point of order from Senator Medu John.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, and statement of facts. I mean, my brother was going on very, very, very well until he, and you see, I was just quiet because yesterday you are really on my case when I tried to defend myself against the aggression of Senator Cherargei. But I think he has continuously misled the House that I was at the party headquarters receiving the Honorable Millicent Omanga. May I inform you, Honorable Speaker, that I have been in Parliament since 8 in the morning. I was here since 8. I have not been to the party headquarters, and my not wearing a DCP cap is only because I was not in that function. I would have worn it, so he should not celebrate. And he should not first mislead the House that I was there. I was not there. But if in the event I was there, I would have worn that DCP cap.
So, on your point of order, what did you want to achieve?
No, I wanted the records to be said.
You want him to clear the point?
No, I wanted him to. I wanted it to be expunged from the records of the Senate that I was in that particular
but
function.
you did not request. You know, I'm pushing you to make a request because your point of order is.
No, it is not irrelevant. He has stated. It is him who has stated that I was there. I have stated that I was not there.
Okay. Proceed, Senator Chalgei.
Mr. Speaker, I hope the party leader of DCP is watching, because even Jesus Christ was denied 3 times. And Senator Metu has denied before the floor of the House that he's not a member of DCP. And he has been lying to the people of Nyandarua. The party leader who will give out nomination should mark that this is Simon Peter, who denied Jesus 3 times. Mr. Speaker, beside that, let me proceed with my submissions. And therefore, I was borrowing from his experience as a member, one person who worked within the Nyandarua County Assembly in the last session. And I think, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal that MCAs, we should take care of their interests. We are not saying, and Kenyans should get this right, we don't want MCAs to be paid or for the sake of them being paid. We want them to build ability and capacity. So the way you have done, legislative proposal, brilliant, beautiful. Mr. Speaker, as a Meru elder, Jurinjek elder, you saw it through and you thought that the best way for the MCAs to do their work independently is to give them financial autonomy. We need to improve on their own allowances, on their own salary, on their own mileage allowances, on the office operations, Mr. Speaker, so that they can have researchers, they can have people who can assist them, Mr. Speaker. Number two, on the issue I saw in the proposal from the petitioner, is they want deputy governors not to be assigned the roles of CEC. Mr. Speaker, the reading of Article 179.45 says that the chief executive of a county is the governor, and the deputy chief executive is the deputy governor. The reading of Article 179.5 says that when there is an absence of a governor, they are supposed to delegate their role to the deputy governor, Mr. Speaker. But what we have seen, whenever governors and their deputies, they campaign together because of different dynamics in counties. But when they get elected, they start fighting, Mr. Speaker, over positions because of power. People want power. You saw our colleague, the senator of CI, saying we want power. Tunataka power, Mr. Speaker. That is when now the fight begins, Mr. Speaker. You saw what happened in Kericho between the governor and the deputy governor, Mr. Speaker, since they were elected. They have never seen eye to eye. You remember in the last impeachment against the Kericho governor, the deputy governor was also among the complainants accusing the boss of corruption allegations, Mr. Speaker. You have gone to Uasin Gishu, where the former deputy governor resigned out of frustration from the governor and the executive of Uasin Gishu, Engineer Barorot. You saw Trans Nzoia, Mr. Speaker, where Philomena Kapkea, the distinguished lady deputy governor, that matter was even brought to the Senate, Mr. Speaker. There was an issue of disrespect to women, Mr. Speaker, by the governor of Trans Nzoia, and I want to thank the ODPP. I've seen they have appealed against the acquittal of charges on corruption against the governor of Trans Nzoia. Mr. Speaker, I am worried, and I don't know whether colleagues saw, at the verified social media platforms, I saw the distinguished governor of Trans Nzoia trying to profile some communities within Trans Nzoia. Mr. Speaker, you need to know that Trans Nzoia is a cosmopolitan county. I want to appeal to NCIC because I saw in social media, verified social media platforms, the governor of Trans Nzoia trying to profile some communities, especially the Kalenjin. I want to challenge the NCIC that they should move with speed and arrest and investigate that incitement that was carried by Trans Nzoia governor, which is contravening the NCIC Act, Mr. Speaker. Because I remember the last time I made a comment, I was put in a Land Rover that did not have brakes. I went through the process, Mr. Speaker. I was in Milimani. I slept in many police stations because of that, although later I was acquitted, Mr. Speaker, because what I said was not misconstrued to be incitement, Mr. Speaker, ethnic, and what's governor of Trans Nzoia should be stopped. Because, Mr. Speaker, if we allow the governor to profile communities, and you know you are a governor of county, why would you want to profile communities? I thought when you are a governor of everybody. So we had that issue of deputy governor, Kapkea, also Siaya County, Mr. Speaker. You saw when the Siaya governor brought the deputy governor, William Odwal, in CPA, we refused to impeach because we found those who are political vendettas. The governor went ahead, Mr. Speaker, and locked Deputy Governor William Odwal. They took the car from him, they changed the locks, they chased away, they sent goons in Siaya town, Bondo town, Mr. Speaker, or Siaya town. The governor, deputy governor of Siaya cannot access his office up to today. And that is why when I saw the governor of Siaya yesterday, Mr. Speaker, trying to lecture the president, I was shocked. Because he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. What can Governor Orengo tell us about democracy? What can he tell us? Rule of law and democracy. Who is he teaching? Because he himself is intolerant against his deputy, who he was elected jointly, DG Odwal, who cannot access the office. Then he tries to lecture the President of the Republic of Kenya. That is shameful, Mr. Speaker. So I want to appeal, even when you go to another county, I was just a number of the counties, Mr. Even my own county, Nandi, the deputy governor has just been reduced to be a flower girl. Only to go to the office, stay, go away, read newspapers. I think the intenders of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, as per Article 179, 4 and 5, was that it would be the wisdom of the governors to ensure that deputy governors are assigned duties. And I'm happy. A number of governors have assigned their deputies. I don't know, your new deputy governor of Meru, I have not known much unless the other day when she was being nominated, I saw her landing with a chopper, but I've never heard much from her. But the point I'm trying to make is the governors have opportunity to assign them. And we are not saying, and I know women leaders like Senator Joyce would not be just excited that women are nominated to be deputy governors. That's not enough. They must be given power. They must be given real power so that they can exercise, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, on this issue of deputy governors...
Senator Chalige, you know, it's only that I'm not on my issue seat as the senator for Meru. Because in my mind, I don't remember when a deputy governor for Meru came to Meru on a chopper for that purpose. It's only that now I'm seated here, now I have no, unless Senator Chalige can ask on my behalf for you to substantiate, because that is not a statement of fact. Maybe you saw something on social media, but maybe you should verify your information.
I thought, sorry, I think it was one of the CCM nominees who landed with a chopper. Sorry, I think I mixed it up and I apologize. But the point I'm trying to make is that governors out of Article 179.45, and I wish the senator, the chairperson of JLAC would have sat, because the drafters of the Constitution imagine that the county executive would function like it would function properly through where the governor and the deputy governor are able to work in peace, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, this issue, I want to insist, I have just given an example of the House, Mr. Speaker, on the deputy governors, was to ensure, Mr. Speaker, was to ensure that I would be hesitant.
There is a point of information, a point of order.
You know, I overheard Senator Cherargei asking that the chairperson of Justice and Legal Affairs and Human Rights would have been seated, and I am on my desk here now seated. Just wanted to give him the comfort that I'm following his contributions, because this is our motion, so that that statement could be misinterpreted to mean that I'm not a serious chairperson of Justice and Legal Affairs by those who are sitting out there. I am present and seated and listening, keenly following your contributions.
Senator Sige, you should have comfort, Chair and JLAC, that the Senator Mungatana give you all the accolades that you are one of the best chairs. And as the chairperson liaison committee, I want to confirm that you are doing so well in your committee. So when you ask through the here as the chair liaison, then you have all the comfort and feel okay that you are doing so well in your committee. Senator Chalige, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, I had seen the chair JLAC being distracted by Senator Metu, so I thought it would be important that, or they were consulting, not distracted, they were consulting. They was consulting on a few matters of national importance. Mr. Speaker, and therefore, I want to appeal to the Senate JLAC committee led by Senator Sige. Article 79 is not in Idle 4 and 5. I would be hesitant for us to amend the Constitution to provide specific roles of a deputy governor, because it will mean we'll also need to amend the Constitution to provide specific role for the deputy president. The law envisages that the deputy governor should be the principal assistant, an advisor, and in case they are called governor in waiting. I know this one becomes sensitive, Mr. Speaker. They are called governor in waiting. I am aware when we were impeaching, when impeaching proceedings was facing a particular governor, I'm told a deputy governor, who is a governor in waiting as by the law, had bought the suit and was preparing and rehearsing how to take the oath of office. I know this is uncomfortable to most of the governors, Mr. Speaker, but that is a fact. The fact that they are called governors in waiting is just in case incapacity, death, resignation, Mr. Speaker, or any other law that might be found to have been offended, Mr. Speaker. So I think let us the deputy governor remain as is. We'll appeal to the wisdom of the governors to bring in place, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, finally, on the County Public Service Board, I agree that we need 3. Mr. Speaker, this County Public Service Board have been interfered by governors. You remember I brought a statement where Trans Nzoia governor went ahead and locked the County Public Service Board offices in Kitale town, Mr. Speaker. This is impunity. The County Public Service Board should exist independently. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, the reason ghost workers is emerging. You saw Rift Valley counties yesterday. close to 1 billion was paid to ghost workers. Nandi paid 66 million to ghost workers. Kericho of 100 million to ghost workers. Uasin-Gishu of 100 million to ghost workers. Samburu 75.8 million to ghost workers. Elgeyo Marakwet paid 66.8 million to ghost workers. Garissa paid 321 ghost workers. 731 million in Garissa was paid to ghost workers as per the financial year by the auditor of the Office of the Auditor General report of financial year 2024-2025. Close to 1 billion, Mr. Speaker. And I hope and believe that the County Public Service Board should be independent so that even in Nandi, Mr. Speaker, the governor purported to fire more than 2,000 staff in the last from 2025 to today. Those children are suffering. They are getting it improper, Mr. Speaker. They are not comfortable, Mr. Speaker, because in Nandi, 2,000 young men and women have been fired. They don't have a living. They can't pay rent. They can't pay school fees because the governor, out of lack of wisdom, decided to fire without following the due procedure of the law. Even when they did vetting, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that they bring in place, Mr. Speaker. And that is why it is very important that the issue of CECs, the issue of appointment, and the issue of County Public Service Board must be taken, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge the counties must be run efficiently. You see, for example, Homa Bay County, Mr. Speaker, in financial year 2024-2025, they underutilized 814,515,050 in their budget, Mr. Speaker. Yet you still find ghost workers. It means no work has been done in Homa Bay County close to 1 billion, Mr. Speaker. And even they have a pending bill. And I have received a petition from contractors of 1.0 billion Kenya shillings, Mr. Speaker. Of course, pending bill, you saw to Wajir, Mr. Speaker, according to financial year 2024-2025, because these are expenses in terms of staffing, in terms of County Public Service Board, Mr. Speaker, most counties have gone beyond 35%. You go to Wajir, among the pending bill, 1.5 million goes to employee emoluments, which cannot be accounted for by the governor of Wajir, Mr. Speaker. Even in Nandi, we have a pending bill of more than 1 billion. A number of people have not been paid personal emoluments, and I think the efficient County Public Service Board must be there, Mr. Speaker. Even, and that is why the underutilization of Homa Bay, for example, 1.4 billion was allocated to Shauriako, Nyandiwa, and Rusinga Old Town roads. That is why we wanted the governor of Homa Bay to appear tomorrow to answer, yesterday to answer to such questions, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this report is wonderful. It's a progress report that we need, and I want to commend and congratulate the Committee of JLAC to continue with the same spirit, Mr. Speaker. As the former chair, I am proud. Mr. Speaker, for your information, you can check records. I was the best JLAC chair in the last session, which is in the answered, Mr. Speaker. So Senator Sigei is following on my footsteps, Mr. Speaker.
1 minute then, as you conclude. Who is my people? Sorry.
No, Senator, sorry. But you have your people from Meru.
1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. So what I wanted to comment, and I'm happy the chair of County Public Accounts is here, the issue of wage bill and the County Public Service Board. The reason, Mr. Speaker, there are so many ghost workers is because of dysfunctional County Public Service Board and direct interference by the governors. For example, like Garissa, Mr. Speaker, I've given you an example of payment of 731 million of 321 ghost workers in Garissa County Executive, led by Governor Nadif Jama. So all these issues, Mr. Speaker, we must condense and ensure that we bring it. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks is to congratulate the committee, and I want to support these reports and hope to see the legislative proposals, and will support at that point in time. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Very well, Senator Korir Joyce Chepkoech.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to also contribute on this very, very important amendment that has been brought forward by the Honorable MCA. I also want to thank the chair, able chair, who happens to be my senator, Honorable Wakili Sigei, who is also the chair, Chailak. I must commend him for the wonderful job that he's doing for this country and for the committee. And Honorable Speaker, by so saying, Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that our MCAs are undergoing a lot of challenges. Challenges, Honorable Speaker, that the public has high expectation and role confusion, Honorable Speaker, which has, Honorable Speaker, made these MCAs not to be able to do their role in terms of oversight and legislation properly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that a number of counties are facing a lot of challenges, which I want to believe that the amendments that are being brought forward by the members of the County Assembly, having served within the County Assembly, Honorable Speaker, I want to say that the MCAs are facing a lot of challenges. And the amendments that have been brought forward, Honorable Speaker, I must thank the committee because I believe they will be able to assist them and make sure that the county, the Government Act will be reviewed, Honorable Speaker, to be able to assist these honorable members in terms of their oversight role, Honorable Speaker. I'm saying this, Honorable Speaker, because we have a lot of challenges, and the members of the county assemblies have a lot of challenges. Challenges ranging from funding and resource constraints, which I want to say that despite the fact that the Senate is fighting day in, day out to make sure that the resources are sent to the county governments, Honorable Speaker, it becomes a challenge for the members of the county assembly to play their role because of the difference between the executive and the members of the county assembly, and also the high expectation that is coming from the members of the public, where they believe that the members of the county assemblies are also supposed to be playing the role of development, Honorable Speaker, which is becoming an issue because at some point they have been fighting for the World Development Fund, just like CDF, but a number of them have never been given this opportunity, just because a number of governors feel uncomfortable equipping these members of the county assembly with these resources, Honorable Speaker. So I want to say that indeed there is a lot of challenges. I want to thank Honorable Senator Kachwang, and I want to say that at some point he made some suggestion, which I always want to believe that this suggestion, if taken keenly and if they are looked into, I think it will solve some problems that we are facing in this country, Honorable Speaker. Because despite the fact that we are sending a lot of resources to the county government, Honorable Speaker, when you go to do the budgeting and you see the way they allocate these resources, Honorable Speaker, to development, you are shocked, Honorable Speaker, because most of the resources goes to regard, Honorable Speaker. And where you find again, within a number of county governments, they have a lot of pending bills, Honorable Speaker. They have a lot of white elephants projects that are within the various counties, Honorable Speaker, which has become a challenge, Honorable Speaker, because at the end of the day, the members of the public believe that development is only done by the national government, not bearing in mind that the devolution has been effected to make sure that the resources move closer to the people, Honorable Speaker. So I want to say it's still a challenge, and I want to thank this House because if they are going to assist these members of the county assembly, I remember when we were dealing with the issues of the Do That gender in the Committee of Cohesion, Honorable Speaker, you find that a number of assemblies are facing a lot of challenges, ranging from budgeting, Honorable Speaker, to the oversight role itself, Honorable Speaker, because of a number of acts that needs to be rejected, Honorable Speaker. So I want to say that indeed we've moved some steps in terms of embracing devolution, and the devolution has gone full circle. Honorable Speaker, as we speak right now, we have the governors who are senators, we have the senators who are members of parliament, we have the members of the county assemblies who are in the Senate, members of the county assemblies who are in the National Assembly. It has gone a full circle. The only challenge that we have is relooking at the act itself, Honorable Speaker, where there is lapse, which makes these members of the county assembly not to be able to do their work diligently, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you find at some point again, they are being intimidated with issues of, that is why you find most of the time we are handling the issues of impeachment in this House. It's just because of some acts which Honorable Speaker are not clear, which need to be relooked at, Honorable Speaker, to be able to equip these members of the county assembly and even the deputy governors to be able to play their role according to the act, Honorable Speaker. So I want to say that it's high time, Honorable Speaker, that we equip these members of the county assembly so that at the end of the day, they can be able to assist the senators when it comes to the oversight role, Honorable Speaker. Remember, they are the ones who are doing the budget within the county governments, Honorable Speaker. They are the ones who are supposed to assist in terms of oversight, despite the fact that the senators does their oversight role over the county government. The members of the county assemblies are supposed to be the first one because they are in the grassroots level. They are the one who are doing the itemized budget. They are the one who are in charge of this project. They are the one who can tell which projects have been done within the various wards, Honorable Speaker, and which one has not been done, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that indeed, this country is facing a lot of challenges, and to an extent that the resources or the taxpayers' money is not brutally used, Honorable Speaker. So if we are going to assist these members by making sure that the amendments that has been put forward by the Honorable Member, which I believe it has gone to the committee, and I believe it should still call back to the County Assemblies Forum so that at least they can give us their views as by the county, because this is something that is affecting the 47 counties. We will be able to address this issue, Honorable Speaker, and we can make some progress, and we'll be able to put some governors to the thoughts, Honorable Speaker. I remember, Honorable, the Vice Chair Coalition, Mheshimiwa Mungatana, Honorable Speaker, when he was raising the issue of his governor, having been summoned every now and then to appear before the committee, and he has never appeared, Honorable Speaker. I almost rise in a point of order, Honorable Speaker, because we don't want to give a leeway to this country or the governors of this country to believe that if they are going to be called by the committees and they cannot attend to the houses, that is the end of the story. No, we have to face full force of the law. They have to adhere to the rules of this house. They have to explain to the Kenyans and to the citizens how these monies are put or are utilized, Honorable Speaker, because there is no single cent, Honorable Speaker, that is going to be budgeted for and it's left unattended, Honorable Speaker, or an oversight, or left without being oversight, Honorable Speaker. So I want to say that I would want to say, Honorable Speaker, that such cases should take a precedence in this house to make sure that some of the governors who have been summoned and have not appeared before this house, the next course of action takes effect, Honorable Speaker, because we need to show the Kenyans that we can brutally use the resources that we've been given. We can always make sure that the monies that we are requesting the Senate every now and then to make the increment, Honorable Speaker, is supposed to do what is entailed to do, Honorable Speaker. So I just want to say that I want to support the Committee on Chilak. I want to support the member of the County Assembly. I want to request this House that let's equip these members. Let's give them the opportunity to assist us in terms of oversight. Let's assist them to give us, to assist us in terms of legislation, so that at least at the end of the day, we can have a concerted effort in terms of making sure that this country is moving the right direction, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, I support. Thank you.
Senator John Medhu was here to contribute. I can see his screen on my system. Senator Kajwang Moses.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity to make my comments on this report by the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee on the petition that was submitted to this House by the Honorable Isaiah Maina, a member of the County Assembly of Nandi. Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate this gentleman for ensuring that he undertook his civic duty to talk to Parliament, to petition Parliament, which is a right available to all Kenyans. Any Kenyan, whoever you are, can petition Parliament on any matter. And Mr. Speaker, this Senate has treated very favorably petitions that have come from members of the public. This particular petition, I find it to be extremely interesting and timely. Mr. Speaker, I believe that even if we didn't have a petition, this House should proactively address some of the statutes that pertain to devolution. It is now more than 10 years. And after 10 years, it is important to carry out a legislative impact assessment. I know that the Devolution Committee had started doing so. And I know that in the last Parliament, towards the end, I chaired the Devolution Committee, and we had a work plan where we said we needed to look at the County Governments Act, look at the Public Finance Management Act and the regulations that pertain to county governments, look at the Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Act and the regulations that pertain to county governments, look at the NCIC Act on the provisions of ethnicity in county governments, look at the various regulations and circulars that we have issued pertaining to county governments. Mr. Speaker, recently I was dealing with a county that had challenges in ensuring that the ceilings that the Senate had given with respect to expenditure on premises or residences of speakers was concerned. Mr. Speaker, about 4 or 5 years ago, we gave a ceiling of about, I think, 35 million for speakers' residences, 40 million for deputy governors' residences, and 45 million for governors' residences. The reality is that inflation has rendered those ceilings untenable. And Mr. Speaker, we need to come back and look at some of these ceilings that we set up for residences, for headquarters, and I think it's a conversation that should fully occupy the devolution committee, because that is when we'll be doing justice to county governments. Mr. Speaker, I also take note that in this report, the committee has indicated that they got feedback from very important stakeholders, the Council of Governors, they got feedback from the County Assemblies Forum, and they got feedback from the Kenya Law Reform Commission, as well as the Office of the Attorney General. Mr. Speaker, let me talk about the County Assemblies Forum. County assemblies have got legislative power, just like the Senate has legislative power. County assemblies have got oversight powers, just like the Senate has oversight powers. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the power that the Senate has to summon any person is a power that is available to our county assemblies. And that is why I believe that we must have a conversation with the county assemblies. We must strengthen the county assemblies forum. We have had some problems with them from an accountability perspective. For example, initially, each county assembly would contribute something like 5 million Kenya shillings every year to go to support the operations of CAF. That brings it to more than 200 million shillings a year. Mr. Speaker, the problem we have had is that that amount is not audited. There is no oversight on it. The conversation we have been having with county assemblies is that if they could petition Parliament, because there's some legislative proposal that is before the National Assembly. This House has already processed it. But we don't know whether it will see the light of day, because even in the last Parliament, a similar proposal was not concluded. If they could petition Parliament in the interim, it would be possible for us to advise County Assemblies Forum and the Society of Clerks at the Table, another body called SOCAT, that it would be okay for member assemblies to contribute, provided that those contributions can be audited by the Office of the Auditor General. That has been the missing link. But if we could build the capacity of the County Assemblies Forum and the clerks who serve in the county assemblies, Mr. Speaker, I believe that the quality of legislation would improve, and I believe that they would have the necessary competence and capacity to petition Senate to amend national legislation. It took the Honorable Isaiah Maina, a member of the County Assembly of Nandi, from Olesosward, to make these proposals via a petition. What if we gave CAF the capacity to look at the landscape, the statute, the regulations, the circulars, and the guidelines, and the policies around devolution, and we commissioned CAF to tell us where the shoe hurts? We can ask the Council of Governors to do so as well. But from what we have seen, they'll be looking at things from the perspective of the governors and from the perspective of the county executive. Mr. Speaker, this petitioner requested that Senate considers a few things that I think are valid. One of them is on accountability of governors to county assemblies. I have not seen very clearly what the chair has proposed, but I think that this is something that is long overdue. There is a county government defined in the Constitution as comprising of the county assembly and the county executive. It is a misnomer, Mr. Speaker, that a governor would take a journey from Meru to come and appear before a Senate in Nairobi, but refuse to appear before the assembly in Meru. Mr. Speaker, it is a misnomer. It is a misnomer. And I do not know where we set that precedent. There was some court ruling in Bungoma that used to be referred to way back in the past. I don't know whether it's still valid. There is no reason why a governor elected to represent the people of Meru, the people of Bomet, or the people of Homa Bay should never be subjected to oversight by the assembly. That the only time they go to the assembly is when they're doing a state of county address or when they're opening the assembly. The problem we have is that we want to equate governors to the President of the Republic of Kenya. In as much as we have 47 county governments, we are a unitary state. We do not have 47 presidents. We have only one president in the Republic of Kenya. The rest are heads of government. It is the name that has changed. They used to be called mayors and chairmen of councils. But today we have a situation where some imperial mindset has entered the leaders of the revolved units, and they look at county assemblies as small places and members of county assemblies as small people who they cannot be subjected to. And yet, Mr. Speaker, you know, as is in the case of Meru, it was the county assembly that decided who is the governor today. The people decided, but because that governor looked down upon the county assembly and was not doing the things that the assembly had passed, the assembly decided to impeach that governor. If an assembly has the power to impeach a governor, how then can we argue that an assembly has no power to call a governor to appear before it, to respond to financial issues, to respond to issues of statute? Mr. Speaker, if we have not granted that prayer, I would want to recommend to the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee that we rethink it. Governors are not presidents. They are heads of a government that is defined as comprising of the executive and the county assembly. Primary oversight can only happen if the government subjects or submits itself to the county assembly. Mr. Speaker, some of the things we are dealing with on a day-to-day basis that is giving us problems here in Nairobi in Peak and Park, we are oversighting implementation of regulations passed by county assemblies. Most of the funds that my brother Senator Osotsi deals with are funds established by regulations of county assemblies. So Osotsi has to sit with the regulation of the county assembly and ask the governor why the governor is not complying with a law passed by the county assembly. That question, that discussion should be held at the county assembly. And Mr. Speaker, we have seen cases of a few county assemblies that are doing an excellent job. Kakamega County, for example, appeared before us, and they told us that they had already considered and processed the report of the Auditor General for the county executive and for the county assembly of Kakamega. We were happy. We didn't even have to waste time to do another interrogation. We adopted the report of the county assembly and said that we are going to make sure that the recommendations are implemented. Another county assembly that did so was Makueni. And so, Mr. Speaker, in as much as there's this cynicism that county assemblies might not have capacity, we are seeing that capacity progressively coming in. And a county assembly is not just as good as the members. A county assembly is as good as a secretariat that supports them. And so, Mr. Speaker, I do pray that we could reconsider this matter of accountability to county assembly and the proposed amendment to Section 33A of the County Governments Act. Mr. Speaker, Section 32(3) of the County Governments Act talks about assigning the deputy governor executive portfolios. Mr. Speaker, I believe that if I was a governor, I would make my deputy a substantive CEC. Because otherwise, if you're a governor who's a workaholic, who's in the office Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., what then does your deputy governor do? Do they just sit there and wait for you to die and wait for you to be impeached so that they can take over? In fact, they can be so idle that they can start cooking up schemes to have you impeached. I believe that a deputy governor, instead of just sitting there as a flower boy or a flower girl, should have a substantive responsibility within the county. Should we define what it ought to be? Perhaps not, because it should be left to the governor, and it should be left to the professional strength and competency of the deputy governor to have a substantive role. But I see no reason why a deputy governor should be sitting in a county executive committee, sitting there just to read newspapers and to praise the governor or to pray for the governor to be impeached so that they can take over. I hope that that prayer on assignment of executive portfolio to deputy governor is a prayer that the committee has affirmed, but I think the petitioner didn't want the deputy governor given executive roles. But I believe that the deputy governor should be given executive portfolios, and that needs to be mandatory. It should not even be at the discretion of the governor, because if it is at the discretion of the governor, some governors do bad things. They frustrate their deputy governors, and they push them to the point where they are rendered useless, push them to the point where they even resign so that they can be able to appoint the person that they desire. And that appointment is never subjected to the people. The election, initial election of a governor and a deputy governor is competitive. They campaign. They go and seek a mandate. And the people say that these two are going to run this government so that when one is busy, the other one is in place. The minute you then end up with another governor or deputy governor through a process that is not people-centered, Mr. Speaker, there is a problem there. And it's something that we must think through, because even at the national level, the same situation persists. People went into an election, elected a president and a deputy, but today the players have changed. They have not changed through universal suffrage. They have changed through elite consensus. It is a risk to democratic processes. Mr. Speaker, another prayer by the petitioner was on the issue of leave and absence. Mr. Speaker, I think this is important. And I see the committee as given the argument that governors and CECs are state officers and therefore should not be regulated in the manner of public officers. But this is a loophole that has been abused. In West Pokot, in the last parliament, Mr. Speaker, this Senate was called upon several times to advise the county government of West Pokot on the prolonged absence of the deputy governor. The deputy governor for 5 years was absent. And Mr. Speaker, on one hand, I think the governor was happy that the deputy governor was absent, but the people were unhappy because they were paying salaries to an absentee. The story was that the deputy governor went to the US to look for donors, to look for medical equipment, and Mr. Speaker, for 5 years, that deputy governor never showed up in office. Is that acceptable? Should we be paying salaries for such a person? Is that even consistent with the principles and values in the Constitution? Mr. Speaker, Nakuru, just recently, the governor went on maternity leave. And it was very difficult to deal with it, Mr. Speaker, because there was an appointment with the Public Accounts Committee. And the governor wrote that she has gone on maternity leave. What do? Do you ask for doctor's records? Do you ask for evidence of pregnancy? Do you ask for evidence of a child? And Mr. Speaker, I can honestly tell the House that we took it as true that the governor was on maternity leave. I don't know, maybe a male governor will tell us one day when he's supposed to come before PAC that he's on paternity leave. And it will be very difficult to challenge it. And I don't know how long a paternity leave is, because the Governor Moranga, Mr. Speaker, recently wrote that he had a small accident, so his foot was injured, so he's taking medical leave for the duration of the audit period. And so he has handed over power to the deputy governor. Mr. Speaker, this is what these governors are going to do. Because in this phase, they have realized that the Senate is not shaking. The Senate is not being cowed, is not succumbing to their illegal demands. What they will do, because the law then does not treat them as state officers, not subject to the regulations of public officers, what if the governor of Tana River, and I listened to the statement by Senator Mungatana, what if the governor of Tana River decided that he has caught malaria or sesefly, or Nagana caused by sesefly, which I believe is in Tana, and that from January to 31st of March, when he's needed before the committee, is on medical leave. And so it's his deputy that can come. How do we deal with that kind of situation? Mr. Speaker, I think even though governors and CECs are state officers, there must be certain regulations to compel them to be in office, to compel them to attend to important public functions. We know governors who, before the war, were spending more time in Dubai than in their counties. We know governors who are always seen in Nairobi at Serena Hotel instead of the counties that they represent. They only go to the counties when there is an exchequer release. They go, they have a cabinet meeting, they sign up, they come back to Nairobi. We know governors who are always lindering ground somewhere, lindering mwananchi somewhere. They spend out of 7 days, 6 days out of the county, only 1 day in the county, just to come and sign and to make authorizations. Mr. Speaker, we need to regulate it. I believe that it is a matter that is ripe for consideration and ripe for regulation, and we should move away from this argument that these people are small presidents and therefore What happens to the presidency at the national level is what should happen to them at the county level.
You wish to be informed by Senator Mungatana?
It definitely is my senior. I would wish to be informed.
Senator Mungatana, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to inform our very respected chair that, in fact, in the US, the practice is the moment the governor leaves the state, the alternate governor, they call him the lieutenant governor, they don't call him deputy, they call him the lieutenant governor, would take over, and it is like a given. In our counties, Mr. Speaker, like the way Chairman was saying, these people come and live here in Nairobi, or Mombasa, or Dubai before the war started. Yet in America, even when you leave the boundaries of your state, you have to write a letter so that executive decisions are taken. So, yes, this practice must be encouraged, Mr. Speaker. If we are following the system of democracy where we have borrowed heavily under the 2010 Constitution, then let's do it all the way to governors. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Senator Kajwang.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Senator Mungatana, for that very important information. And I hope we can put it in law, or put it in regulation, or put it in certain procedures and policies. Because there's a time, the joke was that every day at 6 p.m., the governor of Mombasa and the governor of Kilifi would bypass each other at the bridge. Because the governor of Mombasa would be going to Vipingo, and the governor of Kilifi would be coming to Nyali. So, and it was a daily occurrence. So I hope we can have some regulations to ensure that people take their work a bit seriously. I think finally, Mr. Speaker, of the many good proposals that the petitioner had presented, a clear merit-based process for sourcing, shortlisting, nomination, and appointment of CCs. Mr. Speaker, this one we should also consider. We have seen round pegs in square holes. You find a CC for finance coming before my committee. His background perhaps is international relations, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with studying international relations. It's a very important course. But it is not very relevant to issues of PFM, issues of public sector accounting standards, issues of international public sector accounting standards, IPSAS. Mr. Speaker, I have never seen a situation where an attorney general is a doctor. The attorney general must be an advocate, a member of the legal profession. And so it follows that if you're going to be CC for health, then you need to have a health background and some health competence. We can't just say that these are state officers. In fact, Mr. Speaker, even for chief officers, I have seen a chief officer who is an ECD teacher responsible for finance, has absolutely no idea when it comes to financial matters. And that is why they end up getting embarrassed when they come before my committee. Because perhaps you're a livestock technician, you have been made chief officer because you're a relative of the governor. And then you come there, I ask you questions about accrual accounting and cash basis accounting, then you start fumbling, and then you go and say that the Senate is embarrassing people. They are embarrassing themselves by putting the wrong people in the wrong jobs. And so I hope that despite the recommendations made by the committee, that this is something that we can push forward, so that, Mr. Speaker, we have enough competent people to serve as CCs and chief officers in the entire Republic of Kenya in a merit-based process. Enough doctors to run the health sector, enough water engineers to run the water sector, enough accountants or finance people to run the county treasuries. Let us encourage merit, and let us move away from these things of political patronage and being politically correct and hiding under the guise of state officers. Mr. Speaker, counties are not countries. We have one country run by one president. Let us not try to replicate it 47 times so that the bad behavior.
Chair Sipak, 1 minute to conclude his submission.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for your kindness. I just want us to, as a House, again, just
after the Justice Committee is done with this petition, that the Devolution Committee could finish the job of doing a legislative impact assessment on the various statutes and regulations pertaining to the devolved space, and Mr. Speaker, to encourage the county assemblies that this Senate would look at them with favor if they petition us to find a framework to allow the financing of the County Assemblies Forum, because in this public participation, we can see the value the County Assemblies Forum can add when it comes to national legislation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Very well. Honorable Senators, from my dashboard, there is no other senator willing to contribute to this motion. Therefore, I request the mover to reply. Chair Jailak, Senator Ilali.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you and thank the following colleagues who've taken time to contribute to this very important motion. Senator Mungatana, Senator Cherargei, Senator Joyce Korir, and finally, Senator Moses Kajwang. Mr. Speaker, in very quick reply to 3 or 4 of the comments that came up, Mr. Speaker, number one is that indeed, Honorable Minor, the member of County Assembly who brought this petition, is one such very critical members of our respective county assemblies for having taken time to, in fact, just even read the County Governments Act to understand the provisions and understand that as a representative of the people, he has got a role which he needs to do as he's done in this particular case. And therefore, as a chairperson of committee, I want to applaud him for exercising the constitutional right under Article 119 of the Constitution to bring the petition before this House. Senator Mungatana, Mr. Speaker, spoke and proposed that the agreement by the committee as regards the membership, or rather the timeline within which a member or the chair, the governor as well as the deputy governor in an office of the county government ought to be treated in law as when he or she is absent. This is something that in his contribution, part of what is stated is what a number of stakeholders had indicated, that most of these governors, whenever they travel out without any accountability, in the absence of any particular policy on travel, sometimes even just to get into their destinations, never appear before any such committee if they are going before a committee or if they are going for a conference. In fact, I dare say some of them normally take photographs outside the conference halls just for purposes of documentation that they indeed travel. As to whether they get in to participate is completely a different story. And I agree with the Honorable Senator Mungatana that this policy is critical. And if we were to anchor it in law, it will help us to deal with the corruption menace that is in almost all the representations at the county governments. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, as to the independence of County Public Service Board, most of them, as ably put by Senator Mungatana, are actually undergoing serious legal challenges because of their inability to exercise the autonomy that the law permits them under the provisions of Article 235 as well as Article Section 57 of the County Governments Act. It is envisaged in law that county public service boards should not be politically interfered with. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, they are interfered by the governor by, on the one hand, sending members or actually forwarding members to that particular board to from among those of his supporters. The extent of then independence will largely be interfered with because the people whose names have been forwarded by the governor, appointed ultimately by to be members of the County Public Service Board, approved by the County Assembly, will interfere with their independence because of possible conflict of interest. This is something that is currently exhibited in the county government of Bomet, where the County Public Service Board previously was fully micromanaged and controlled by the governor. Several matters have been filed in court, including one that was today before the court in Nakuru, where the governor is a subject of a contempt of court proceeding, where the courts, both the Employment and Labor Relations Court as well as the Court of Appeal, has directed that the governor takes back over 595 former employees to the payroll, and he's refused to do it. And the reason and the foundation for that legal challenge, Mr. Speaker, is the interference by the executive, or the governor for that matter, with the County Public Service Board, where employees are sacked by a stroke of the pen or directions of the governor. And I'm happy that, Mr. Speaker, the Court of Appeal indeed agreed with the former employees and directed that they should go back to their employment. And, Mr. Speaker, this is a cost which actually, from the calculations arrived at from the documents filed in court, the county government has not or is required to pay over 495 million of arrears as salaries to these employees. And I want to urge that this is a court decision. The governor risks being cited for contempt, and he has no option but to comply. If, therefore, Mr. Speaker, we were to amend the law to ensure that the autonomy of the County Public Service Boards is protected, we will not be having such issues where we are getting into legal battles, there are legal fees involved, and employees who are members of the county, employees who are fathers, who are parents, are languishing in poverty. They are dragged into court sessions, yet they are supposed to enjoy that right. And I want to appreciate Honorable Maina for bringing up such a proposal so that we support the autonomy of the county government. The issue on ghost workers that's in Racharage raised will also be protected by ensuring that the county public service boards are independent and they are not a subject of extreme control by the appointing authority in the case of this current law as it is. Senator Joyce Korir appreciates the fact that the operational autonomy of county assemblies is affected by the political patronage by those who are running county governments, that is the governor, who is in law able to send names for approval and sit in the county assembly. And lastly, Senator Kajwang, the legislation impact assessment is actually supposed to have been done. We have had the Constitution of Kenya over now 15 years. A period of 10 years ordinarily sufficient for an institution like the Senate to run through an impact assessment so that if there are laws that ought to be amended, it is ripe for them to be amended. And this is something that under the recommendation in this report by JLAC, recommendation F, we have invited this Honorable House to permit and recommend to JLAC to make sure that additional proposals that would come from members as addition to the ones by Honorable Maina proposed, those which were agreed upon by the committee, and those which have now been pushed by members, including the one I've just said, on the amendment of section 33, which is ordinarily required to give the county governments a standard, I would say, a standard procedure of appointing, identifying, and also largely approving nominated members to sit in the county as county executive committee members. That is a welcome proposal, and Senator Kajwang, we definitely as a committee will take that one up, and once this motion is approved, we will make a legislative proposal to accommodate a requirement that gives a standard and uniform mode of nominating members of the CEC of counties. However, the position that the committee had taken is that because of the diversification in our various counties, the standard for nomination is acceptable in law. But as to the numbers and the structure of our various county governments, let that be left out to the decision of the governors, because our counties are different in terms of size, in terms of population, and in terms of the kind of departments that they can create. Secondly, and this is one of the issues with regard to the position of the deputy governor, it's true that the committee indeed recognized that this DG is supposed to be left as a joint ticket that brought him or her into office with the governor, but at the same time, they should be given an opportunity to have some executive role that will keep them to be able to run and be engaged almost throughout in the office of the DG. And the committee definitely welcomes that, which will give the county governor, in this case, the mandate to still have him as his substantive, I would call assistant, but at the same time have an entitlement to also give him the discretion to a department which will give the member or the deputy governor a role within the county government. With those many, Mr. Speaker, once again, I want to thank the members who have contributed to this motion. And pursuant to Standing Order 66.3, Mr. Speaker, I request that you defer putting of the question to a later date to enable the quorum of the House to be available for us to put the question. I thank you, and I thank the members who have supported this, as well as those proposals which we have been given. We accept to run them on proposals. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chair. The putting of the question is deferred to next sitting. Now, Senators, I want to reorganize the order of business. We defer orders 13 to 21, and then we go to order number 22. This is the motion by the Senator for Murang'a County, Senator John Yutu. Yes, call out the order first. Wait, order number 22.
Order number 22, motion, inclusion of teacher training college students in the higher education funding model.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move this motion that says, or about the inclusion of teacher training college students in the higher education funding model, Mr. Speaker. Aware that the Constitution of Kenya under Article 43(1)(f) guarantees every citizen the right to education, and Article 53(1)(b) provides that basic education is free and compulsory. Further, aware that the government of Kenya launched the new education funding model in 2023, primarily targeting university and tertiary and vocational education and training TVET students, leaving a significant gap in the financial support for students in diploma and certificate teacher training colleges, TTCs. Concerned that students enrolled in public teacher training colleges are discriminated against and not expressly and fully provided for under the prevailing higher education financing framework, thereby limiting or excluding their access to structured government support for tuition and accommodation. Cognizant that the transition to the competency-based curriculum, CBC, requires a highly skilled teaching workforce, and that the financial burden on teacher trainees, many of whom come from marginalized backgrounds, threatens the sustainability of the teacher supply chain. Now, therefore, Mr. Speaker, the Senate urges the Ministry of Education, in conjunction with the Higher Education Loans Board, HELB, and the Universities Fund, UF, to one, formally integrate teacher training college students into the new funding model to ensure equity, quality, and inclusivity in the education sector, and two, develops regulations and guidelines to define the eligibility criteria for teacher training college students, covering tuition and reasonable accommodation and upkeep costs. Mr. Speaker, as the motion clearly states, we have had problems with teacher training colleges over time because they have not been included in the regulations governing access of funds from either HELB, that is Higher Education Loans Board, or University Fund, Mr. Speaker, that is UF. And Mr. Speaker, this also being tertiary education, we have identified that there is a gap, that the other, in fact, including students in technical training institutes, are able to access funding by government, Mr. Speaker, sometimes sponsorship, and even loans by Higher Education Loans Board. Mr. Speaker, we are elected, or we come to this house, elected by the people, especially elected, to come and when we identify the gaps, to look at what we can be able to do to be able to seal such gaps, Mr. Speaker. We have had very many students of these particular teacher training colleges dropping out of college for lack of fees. So if the ministry would include them in their model of funding, Mr. Speaker, we would eliminate most of the problems that we have with the students. Mr. Speaker, it must be noted, it must be considered, Mr. Speaker, that we need to train as many teachers as possible, because schools are growing, the population is growing. And with this, with the new, education curriculum, Mr. Speaker, curriculum-based, competency-based education, we need to train teachers even more. Sometimes, even as we talk of retooling, we may need, maybe in future, to have teachers maybe go back to college, Mr. Speaker, and finances will be needed for this. And because we have a very good, we already have a system. It may have its challenges, Mr. Speaker, because I know that we have challenges with the new university funding model, which I do not want to discuss because it's not exactly the subject matter of this motion. But because we have that particular model, we have that particular facility, and we also have university fund, Mr. Speaker, it's important that we onboard teacher training colleges into this particular program so that they can also benefit. In any case, Mr. Speaker, the more we train teachers, the more we are sure that our schools will be better staffed tomorrow. And Mr. Speaker, with the government boasting of employing, I don't know how many teachers since it came to power, of course, there are many questions as to how many have been employed on permanent and pensionable basis. But Mr. Speaker, when we have trained teachers employed by the government or not, then we have a good pool of professionals who can be called upon anytime to come and serve in our schools. Mr. Speaker, for that reason, we need to empower these students so that the burden, especially with this biting economy, that the burden of parents may be eased through this particular kind of funding, Mr. Speaker. And because this is a self-explanatory motion, Mr. Speaker, I think I do not need to gainsay about it, because I don't want to believe or think that any legislator in this or the lower house could go against the intent and the motive of this particular motion. And Mr. Speaker, I beg to move, even as I call upon my very good friend, my desk mate, Honorable Senator Joyce Corriel, to second this motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move.
Senator Joyce Corriel.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to also second this motion by my desk mate, Senator Nyuthu. Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that indeed our teachers have been undergoing through a lot of challenges, Honorable Speaker. Bearing in mind, Honorable Speaker, that this government have been trying as much as possible to make sure that they employ the highest number of teachers since the independence of this country, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that, Honorable Speaker, as we speak now, the TSC or the ministry has been able to try as much as possible to make sure that they have employed over 100,000 teachers across the country. And not only that, Honorable Speaker, we still have another 16,000 that are coming in, Honorable Speaker. Despite the fact that now the government is trying to observe these teachers, Honorable Speaker, I want to say that we still have a lot of challenges. One of the challenges is the counterfunding or the tuition fee that is supposed to be also, that they're also supposed to enjoy, just like other students in this country, Honorable Speaker. And the motion that has been brought forward by the Honorable Senator Nyuthu, Honorable Speaker, is seeking the ministry that is the Ministry of Education, to make sure that teachers of this country also enjoy this funding, Honorable Speaker. I want to say, Honorable Speaker, that indeed they deserve to be given these funds, Honorable Speaker, because education is the basic need, is the beginning of the knowledge. This is one of the key components when it comes to development of a country, Honorable Speaker. Education, Honorable Speaker, is what matters most, Honorable Speaker. So if our teachers cannot be given these resources, Honorable Speaker, I want to say they are undergoing through a lot, Honorable Speaker. So I want to say, Honorable Speaker, that indeed I want to support that these teachers, Honorable Speaker, be given this tuition. And also the ministry should come out with the criteria of covering this tuition fee, Honorable Speaker. They have already done a number of them. I remember they did recently the one for the TVET. They've been doing, I can say they have done across, Honorable Speaker. But for the teachers, I think it has been lacking behind, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say that it is high time that the Committee on Education assist us in terms of making sure that this motion is put or implemented to the letter by making sure that the guidelines or the criteria that is going to be used in terms of making sure that these students are eligible to this tuition fee is adhered to, Honorable Speaker. So I just want to say that it's a high time that the Ministry of Education look into this, make sure that they assist us in terms of making sure that these students are also given this tuition fee. I will also challenge the committee, say that during this budget making process, they make sure that they include in their budget, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, I beg to support. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, I now wish to propose the question. Aware that the Constitution of Kenya under Article 43, Sub-Article 1F guarantees every citizen the right to education, and Article 53, Sub-Article 1B provides that basic education is free and compulsory. Further, aware that the government of Kenya launched the new education funding model in 2023, primarily targeting university and tertiary and vocational education and training TVET students, leaving a significant gap in the financial support for students in diploma and certificate teacher training colleges, TTCs. Concerned that students enrolled in public teacher training college are discriminated against and not expressly and fully provided for under the prevailing higher education financing framework, thereby limiting or excluding their access to structured government support for tuition and accommodation. Cognizant that the transition to the competence-based curriculum, CBC, requires a highly skilled teaching workforce, and that the financial burden on teacher trainees, many of whom come from marginalized backgrounds, threatens the sustainability of the teacher supply chain. Now, therefore, the Senate urges the Ministry of Education, in conjunction with the Higher Education Loans Board and the Universities Fund, to 1, formally integrate teacher training college and student into the new funding model to ensure equity, quality, and inclusivity in the education sector, and 2, develops regulations and guidelines to define the eligibility criteria for teacher training college students covering tuition and reasonable accommodation and upkeep costs. Now, honorable senators, having put the question, the motion is available for debate, and I will invite Senator Kiprono Chemitei to make his contribution.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity you have given me to give out my contribution pertaining the motion that has been brought by Honorable Member from Moranga. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion because the learners, Mr. Speaker, who are in a teachers training college are just learners like any other students in university, and therefore they have right to be given a higher education laws board just like the other students, because during their learning, Mr. Speaker, they are undergoing a very difficult situation, and therefore they need support from the government. So, Mr. Speaker, I have risen to support the motion that has been brought by a distinguished member of this House from Moranga County. So, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Chemitei. I'm seeing the Deputy Speaker, who just walked out, is actually on the request. No, this is not the Deputy Speaker. I'm sorry about that. Senator Ruto.
Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order 110.1, I request that the debate on the motion on the inclusion of the teacher training college students in the higher education funding model be adjourned to allow senators to contribute to it in the next sitting. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Senator Joe Ruto, the chair is cognizant of the provisions of this particular standing order, and I take note of also the motion itself. It's a very important motion to the extent that teacher training college students, as ably put by Senator Chemitei, are supposed to equally benefit from the higher education loans from the national government, and therefore it is something that would elicit a lot of support and contribution, or rather that requires a lot of support and contribution from among the members, and therefore the request made pursuant to Standing Order 110.1 to adjourn the debate on the motion on the inclusion of the teacher training college students in the higher education funding model is hereby adjourned to allow senators to contribute to it in the next sitting. Secondly, honorable members, clerk. Honorable members, I now wish to put a question that pursuant to Standing Order 110.1, the motion, the debate, the request to delay on the motion on the inclusion of the teacher training college students in the higher education funding model be adjourned to allow senators to contribute to it in the next sitting. Now, will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Clerk, call the next order.
Order number 23, motion, provision of IFMIS reports for county governments to the Senate.
Senator Okia Omtata, who is supposed to be the mover of this motion, is not present in the chamber. That motion is therefore deferred to the next sitting. Honorable members, we now may rise. Honorable Senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, the 24th of March, 2026 at 2:30 p.m.
Without objection.
Thank you, Madam President. It was the spring of 2019. Public and media interest in Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report into Russia's election interference operation reached a fever pitch. There had been a steady drip, drip, drip of reporting on the Trump team's cozy and peculiar relationship with Russia since his surprise election victory in 2016. Ahead of the Mueller report's release, Trump's Attorney General, Bill Barr, issued a letter to Congress purporting to summarize the report's findings. The letter declared that Russia and the Trump campaign did not collude to steal the election. The press, ravenous for any news of the long-anticipated Mueller report's conclusion, largely accepted Attorney General Barr's narrow, carefully worded conclusion, and not yet having access to the full report, blasted the Attorney General's summary around the world. Trump himself declared, all caps, no collusion. He said he had been cleared of the Russia hoax, a term he reserves only to describe things that are true, like climate change.